Well, here we are, episode 113, 113. Nothing unlucky about this show. It's a good one. I got the Wrecking 2, Lou Colicchio, Mark Smith from the Music Relish Show. We're going to, I'm not even, you know what, usually I edit this. Forget it. No, we're going to talk about late night concert shows, old school late night concert shows. Wasn't a lot of them, but it should be good conversation. We're each going to give a list of our 5, what we think 80s songs that defined 80s music. You'll see what we mean. And we got some other things in store. Video of the week. It's becoming a little mixed bag every week. So sit back, relax, enjoy this unedited show as you just heard from the intro.
The KOFB studio presents Milk Crates and Turntables, a music discussion podcast hosted by Scott McLean. Now, let's talk music. Enjoy the show.
All right. Thank you, Amanda, for that wonderful introduction as usual. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. You know the name of it. I'm not going to say it. Welcome to the podcast. We're streaming live right now over YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, D-Live, a whole bunch of different places as usual. Or it's not Twitter, it's X. As you see, I'm wearing the Lucha Libre or the Luchador mask. Yeah, old Mr. X. He had his own YouTube channel for a little while, and all his videos got deleted. Anyways, so yeah. I'm here right now. You know, I got the Wrecking 2 in the green room. We got a good show going tonight. And there's no way I'm wearing this luchador mask the whole show. I'm already sweating. Yeah. Hi, Patty. Yeah, she's like, what are you wearing in your face? It's a luchador. But it's a wrestling mask, right? I got the wrestling mask on. And I have my glasses on over it. How intimidating is that? But if I take them off, it looks better. But what I see isn't better, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like the vanity of looking. Yeah, I got the wrestling mask on, but I can't see shit. I'm squinting. Like right now, I'm squinting for all you podcast listeners. I can't see. I gotta see a little bit. Yeah, I read Patty's comment when she came in because I had my glasses on. So I don't know. I don't know which way to go. You know who I'm going to ask? Mark Smith from the Music Relish Show and Lou Colicchio from the Music Relish Show.
That's what your mouth looks like. That's exactly what your mouth looks like.
Enough of that. Yeah, you can't see my mouth moving like a ventriloquist.
And I think we're supposed to tag team wrestle you now, right?
Bring it on. Bring it on. We got a handicap match tonight. On the music. No, what do I say? Music Relish. On the Milk Crates and Turntables. See, it's so hot in here. My brain is heating up. Don't tell Perry I said that, by the way. Don't tell Perry I made that mistake. I called my show your show. Yes, what's up, boys?
Not much.
Doing good. Hi, Patty. She said hi.
Yeah.
Hello, Patty.
Yeah. My head looks like a blueberry.
Wait.
This is the blue demon.
Blueberries. I'm squishing the blueberries here.
I'm crushing your head.
You ain't the guy you want to wrestle.
Yeah. So, all right. This thing's coming off now. It's already on. Hold on. I got it. What the fuck? It's hot.
Here it goes. That thing is tight. Looks like it's blind.
How do people wrestle with those things?
It's stuck on me. Get off me. Hold on. I can't hear you.
All right.
There you go.
We're ready to talk music.
Oh my God. Put the mask back on. Holy God.
Dude. I was sweating like an illegal crossing the border. Jesus. Just saying. It's hot down there.
Yeah. How do they do it on stage with all the lights? I'm talking about the wrestlers.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But it's real. Don't tell me it's fake. It's real. K-fob, right, Lou? K-fob.
Yes.
Stay in character. So what do we got tonight? We got a little bit of mixed bag. We got to talk about some late night concert shows. There wasn't really many, was there?
Not a whole lot.
No.
There were four big ones, I think, that I remember.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Rob Elston said he ain't the guy you want to wrestle. See, remember that, you two.
Yeah,
I know.
Don't get out of line. Don't get out of line.
I am a legacy. I am a legacy. Just saying.
That's right. Oh, by the way, Rob, Lou's father was a wrestler back in the day. So
he was the original Mr. Belvedere
hey,
before the TV show. Yeah,
I love it.
Yep.
Dave Phillips, King of the 45s. Welcome to the show, my friend. Yeah. So there weren't many. What was the first? What was the first concert show? Not like lip sync, like Top of the Pops or anything like that.
That I remember was In Concert.
There you go. And who created that?
Don Kirshner.
Yes, he did.
He did.
He
was he was a music industry executive, very instrumental in the Monkees' career.
Yeah.
I don't know what the record company was, but yeah, that original was his baby. I forgot about that one until I was reading about the Midnight Special and things like that. I'm like,
now maybe I'm wrong. I think Midnight Special came out a few months before that, but the Midnight Special, wasn't it?
Well, there was a pilot episode of the
Midnight Special,
which aired on my 11th birthday in 1972. So
wow,
August 19th, 1972.
Uh-huh.
It was a pilot, and it did well. Then they in 73, like early February, they picked up for the series run.
Yeah. But In Concert, I remember that show.
Yeah.
In Concert, that's how they kind of introduced it, and it was no host, right? It was just a guy's voice, wasn't it?
I was gonna say I don't recall a host on that show. Vague memory. I remember the name of it more than I remember seeing the show, I think.
So it came on after the Dick Cavett show.
Dick Cavett.
Yeah.
Cool show.
Yeah, it came on after the well, did it come on after? I don't know.
I would think.
Yeah. I think it did come on after the Dick Cavett show. Yeah, and it got big
maybe
ratings.
It wasn't on super late though.
No.
Because on Midnight Special, the thing about that was that it was on at 1 a.m.
Look at Marie Martin just said, Scott, is that why you moved to Boca? Don Kirshner used to live here. I knew I had a calling to this place.
Cool.
I knew it. See, Boca. Don't mess with Boca. That's all I'm saying. Don Kirshner from the mean streets of Boca.
In the early 70s.
Clawed his way out of Boca.
Clawed his way out of Boca. Fought his way to the top.
Didn't care who he hurt, what he left behind. He just got out of Boca. Straight out of Boca.
Yeah, so In Concert, I believe the first show that came on was September 21st, 72. And Alice Cooper, Bo Diddley, Curtis Mayfield.
Mr. Diddley.
Seals and Croft. That's a pretty diverse.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah. You all right, Mark?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just trying to set the lighting.
You couldn't have done that before the show?
No, we were watching you.
It's called pre-production, Mark.
And Lou's still in Spain. Hey, Lou, what did you do? Did you change your lamp? It's not like pink this week. It's changed the bulb?
That was a red bulb too. It came out pink. It's yellow.
Look at that lamp. Is that one of those what do they call atomic age type thing? It looks like a beaker or something.
I don't know what it is.
It's not pretty.
It's acrylic. It's see-through.
Lou got the. I'm not.
You're knocking my set here, man.
I gotta hand it to you. You have a new set every week.
Exactly.
Exactly. I got Porcupine Tree, ELP,
you don't know where I am.
MMR.
That's right. I'm in jail.
And Lou's got like the grandma crocheted thing over the table with the lamp on it. Like what do you want? Fucking on the set of the Waltons?
Next time I'll be reading like a book when I come on.
I expect to see a butler come behind you and like
I could
with,
I
you
could
know,
go for a glass
towel,
of wine.
you know.
Well, the collected works of Shakespeare. We can talk.
Hey, this isn't the Music Relish show, buddy. I'm not that I don't celebrate diversity like you guys do. Jeez.
That's more Mark than the rest of it.
Oh, here we go. So yeah, Marie Martin. I'll just say Marie Martin just said, yeah, Sales and Croft is considered yacht rock now, right? Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Back then it was like rock, right? It was like pop.
It was
like
pop,
soft rock.
soft rock. Yeah,
right.
California rock. Maybe.
So then you had the second episode of In Concert came on December 8th, 1972. Again, preempting the Dick Cavett Show, featured the Allman Brothers and Chuck Berry. Yeah. Evidently, Kirshner, after the first, after the first 2 episodes, he kind of lost control of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He bailed.
No, they kind of took it from him. This other dude came in, and then he had a producing credit, but didn't really have anything to do with it. But he was like, Don Cornelius, fucking brilliant move when he bought the rights to Soul Train from the TV station. That was he was the host of it, and the TV station was like, it's just filler. And he's like, well, can I buy it off you? They were like, yeah. It's all yours.
Take it off our hands.
Whatever. And look what happened then.
Yeah.
No?
Well, that was a daytime.
Yeah, that was a daytime. That was a Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool
Saturday.
show. Cool guest, David Bowie.
Oh yeah. I mean, they were. I actually watched Soul Train more than I watched. I don't think I really watched American Bandstand.
I hardly ever watched it either.
I don't think I really watched it. Yeah. It was too white for me.
It was pretty like beach movie.
Yeah, I was listening to
pretty white.
I was listening to a little more advanced music than the pop.
Soul Train got me into R&B probably because I was like 6 years old. And I'm watching it. I'm like, this is some good stuff I'm watching,
Loved it. Yeah, loved it.
I don't remember who would go on American Bandstand. I mean, it was lip syncing.
Bee Gees. Leaf Garrett.
Pretty much any pop band, the Bay City Rollers.
I thought it was really squeaky clean pop kind of stuff that he.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like Dick Clark,
Yeah.
I mean, if he had Kiss on, he would be very uncomfortable because that's too cutting edge,
Yeah.
But the dude had a niche and he worked it, man.
Oh, he did.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I remember him more from Rockin' New Year's Eve.
Yeah. But so did Don Kirshner because in 73 is when he came out with Don Kirshner's rock concert, right? But probably, what would you say? So you have this pretty much. Is it pretty dominated? It's just Midnight Special and Don Kirshner's rock concert, right?
They were the two.
They were the two monsters, right?
They weren't unsimilar either.
No, they weren't.
As far as music, it was just hosting.
Yeah. But the Midnight Special, produced by Burt Sugarman. Right. Premiered August 1972.
Why?
Began its regular series run. What's your birthday? Yeah. On February 2nd, 73. Last episode, 73 to 81.
Yeah.
Not a bad run.
No. I think I didn't watch the last probably several years of it.
By 81 on Friday night, I was not home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was not home.
Yeah.
No. And you couldn't record it back then.
Right. But what was cool was that Midnight Special was on Friday night and Don Kirshner was on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, your weekend was, you had pretty much had back to back.
When I was younger than
right.
when I would be home to watch it.
Yeah. Well, even, before the going out days, I mean, like my parents would watch the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And so it was cool when they would let me stay up and watch it with them. And then after that, once you hit a teen, you got, had TV in my room, then that was me and my brother watching those shows on the weekends.
Yeah.
Cool stuff because, they weren't lip syncing. They were either, live performances or they had taped film concert stuff. That's why I first saw Rush, was a concert clip.
And they were always live. I mean, they sang. They didn't lip sync.
Right.
Right.
No, didn't it? Yeah. No. They played live.
They played live.
Didn't the Cars do something, or was that just a separate concert they did? Early 80s, a live late night concert, television.
I remember seeing the Cars late night live, but it was a BBC thing.
Okay. The old gray whistle test.
I think it was that, and that's like, it was actually before night. It was like the first album. I was like, I was like 10 years old when I saw that.
This didn't look like they were on a show. It looked like they were actually on a stage, but there was no audience. I think, unless I'm just. I mean, that was 40 years ago, so 43.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a preference? Did you ever see any of these old clips, Mark?
Yeah. So I started watching those late night shows around 76, 77.
Okay.
I had to keep the TV on a whisper because my father didn't want me watching them. That Evil Kiss might be on, I wasn't allowed to, which made me want to watch it even more.
Of course, yeah.
I was more of an 80s, and there were some shows in the 80s, but see, my late night concert shows were basically shows like we had UHF. Remember the UHF channels?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So they would show old grade whistle test was a late night concert show because they were showing them at like 11:30.
Yeah.
And Austin City Limits too. I was watching Austin City Limits.
That's another one.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's been around forever.
Yeah.
So the Midnight Special was the first show to run. Remember when it used to TV used to shut off at 1 a.m?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Right. Programming would run till 1 o'clock, and then that's it.
National anthem, and then boom.
Yeah.
Until like 6 a.m. or something. Right. So they would just shut down. I believe the Midnight Special was the first show to go past 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Was it them or was it Don Kirshner? Was it? Oh, I think it was Midnight Special.
Midnight Special, I think, actually, yeah.
And Sugarman, didn't he? He had to buy time to get it to play past 1 o'clock, and then NBC figured, hey, wait, we're making a little money here, because they had lost those TV stations, those big networks. Lost a boatload of money with the cigarette.
It was the tobacco. You couldn't do
71
commercials in 71.
Yeah. So they lost a lot of revenue, a lot of ad revenue. So they saw this thing, and all of a sudden, like the demographic of 35 and under was like through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Hey, we might be onto something here. That might not be dead air time. That might be money making time."
Yeah. And I guess there were no FCC regulations about staying on the air. It was just a matter of economics is why they didn't do it.
Yeah, they all did it.
Most people aren't up before it. Yeah, unless you're a night shift, you're not up that late.
So imagine being that's before
cocaine was invented, right?
Hey, no, we're not talking about the 80s now. We haven't got there yet. Isn't that amazing? So maybe I wonder why they did not run TV past 1 o'clock. Was it the amount of TVs that were in the, you know what I mean? Like, how did they come up with no one's watching after 1?
Well, I would guess it was basically like, standards and practices of like decency. Like most people, like that was in the living room of the family. I don't think we had multiple TVs in households back then. We didn't. But maybe there's just no reason to have it on unless.
Also, back then, everything had to be controlled by a human being, so they just wanted to have some downtime at the station. I think it could have been part of that too. We just don't want people here all night. Radio went all night though, right?
Yeah,
back in the day.
Yeah, and they had to pay those guys. I mean, this is just programming.
I think it was might have been more expensive running a TV thing.
Well, they figured out that it's actually profitable.
Yeah.
And so I guess after the first episode, NBC was because I guess Sugarman went to them and proposed a deal, and they were like, "Oh no, nobody goes after 1 o'clock," because it was on after the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
On Friday nights.
Yep.
And so then they went. So he went from 11 to 12:30, right? Johnny Carson. 11 to 12? Was it 11 to 12?
11:30 to 1.
11:30 to 1.
Yeah.
He went 11:30 to 1.
Yeah. It was after the evening news.
So then he went. Then Midnight Special went from 1 to 2:30.
Yeah.
And they saw the ratings. They were like, "Ooh, snap!" So then they came back and said, "Hey, Bert, let's renegotiate something here.
Let's make a deal."
Yeah, and it just rolled on.
I think he went to Chevrolet. I think initially for the promotional money for the pilot episode.
Yeah, I think he did. He did. He did. He had I know it was a car company. Yeah, an automaker. They never had a host until
I am the Wolfman.
Nope.
Oh wait, Wolfman Jack wasn't the first host.
Wolfman Jack wasn't really the host at first.
He was the announcer.
Right. There was a host.
It wasn't Helen Reddy initially.
It was.
Later on. I thought she was later on.
No, she was the first real host. He was
like
the announcer.
That's like having Carly Simon do it. She's never heard rock and roll.
Yeah, he was like the announcer. Welcome to the Midnight Special. Right. And then eventually, I think she kind of tailed off, and then he took over.
Okay.
He was up behind wasn't he? He was always like the stage was behind him, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember him, but not the visual. I think it was like kind of close up body shot. But
yeah, and there was I think he'd be going and the band would be behind him, you could see it, and then he.
Oh, okay.
And then in '78, during the height of the disco craze, they changed the they changed the whole studio.
Yeah.
To a nightclub. And that's when he was up on the stage and behind this big DJ booth.
That's why I stopped watching.
I think that lasted a year, maybe. In '79, they're like, I guess we jumped on this a little too late because the disco kind of died.
Yeah,
But interesting stuff.
Wolfman Jack himself, interesting character.
Yeah,
one of the original pirate DJs, way back.
Yeah, isn't that the kind of the origin, his origin story in American Graffiti?
Well, he's in that.
Yep. I mean, he was the one that wanted the ice cream. He was always eating the ice cream, the DJ. And then he has way in the middle of nowhere, and he has this giant fucking tower and this little box of
the ice pops.
Ice pops, yeah. And they wanted who was it? It was Richie Cunningham, Ron Howard. Wanted to get
Opie.
Yeah, he wanted to get Suzanne Summers information. Like he wanted to send a message to her. Remember, he went out to the radio station.
I barely remember anything about the plot of the movie.
He went in.
I saw when it first came out. I've not probably seen it.
And you go in, he walks in expecting to see, because he was on all the radio stations. Like he had, like you said, a pirate radio. Right? And he walked in, and you just see like this kind of heavy set dude sitting behind a booth, and he got that voice.
Yeah.
And
it was the only serious part of the movie, because kind of got to be a downer.
He's like, hey, and then I guess Wolfman Jack just starts talking to him normal, like, hey, what's up, man?
Okay.
What can I do for you? What's up? And it was just like a total curveball to him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, want an ice pop? The ice pops, yeah. And that's how he got his message to Suzanne Summers, the unknown blonde in the T-Bird, in the convertible.
So I forgot that was even Suzanne Summers.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I never
if you haven't watched it in a long time, it's probably
I love when I first saw it, but I was it's probably just that one time at a
Harrison
drive-in.
Ford with a little cameo in it too.
Yeah, he was the cowboy.
Yeah.
The cowboy, yep.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Cindy Williams.
Cindy Williams.
Yeah. Who else? The dude that was on wasn't he from
Charles Martin
My Three
Smith.
Sons? He Toad or something like that. The kid with the glasses.
I know he was Charles Martin Smith.
Yeah, he looked like Ernie from My Three Sons, right?
That's right, yeah.
He was in it.
He was in The Untouchables.
He was.
Yeah,
That's right, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Charles Martin Smith.
Yeah.
He is in
Lou.
He is in one of my favorite old 70s TV movies called Cotton Candy. It's about this neighborhood kids that have a band. He's in it. It was a real charming little movie, but
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
You might have saw it. It was, ABC special or something.
I think you guys on the Music Relish show need to talk about American Graffiti. I think Lou needs to watch it, right, Mark?
I need to rewatch it. It's on one of my streaming channels. I've seen it in the queue. I'm like,
what makes it kind of unique is that it's a teenage movie, but it's made by Steven Spielberg, so it's on an epic scale. So every scene is wide Panavision. When it if it was any other director, everything would be close up. And there's some scenes drawn out a little longer. It's
basically a movie about the end of innocence.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like that. It really did capture those last days of high school that we all went through. When I was
kind of the modern version would be like Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My senior year, I actually did realize how fucking good I had it. Like I didn't go through it blind. Like I sucked up every second of it. Like I knew this is it. This is it. This is, I'm not going to see most of these people. I just had that kind of intuition about it. And then, boom, there it goes. It's over just like that.
Did you go to your prom?
I did go to my prom. Yeah.
I didn't. We did. A bunch of us that didn't go to our prom. We got a jug of cheap wine, went down to the Meadowlands, and saw U2. But before we went in, we got drunk.
Beautiful, dude.
I don't regret it.
No, that's a great time right there. Going to see U2 or your prom back then.
Yeah,
that would have been a tough decision for me. Yeah, yeah, that would have been a tough decision. But in '81, U2 wasn't really around. So
yeah, this was '87 when they were kind of around.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, I think you guys, that's my suggestion for the Music Relish show.
Yeah,
for our next music show.
Yes,
or movie show rather.
Movie show. Yeah. So then you had Don Kirshner's rock concert. This is Don Kirshner's rock concert. Like the dude, right?
Expressionless, yeah.
Right.
And tonight's guests are the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
Remember Paul Schaefer's impersonations of him on SNL?
He nailed it. He nailed it. Yeah. Yeah. Nailed it.
Did you have a preference of show over like Midnight Special over Don Kirshner or In Concert?
No, it was always who was on.
Yeah.
Look at Marie Martin says Wolfman was a DJ at XERF in Mexico. Yeah.
Yep, Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah. Had one of those giant fucking antennas that reached like across the United States. It's insane, like that they built those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally wild, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You could be in California and they're hearing him in like Michigan.
Right. Or reading about like guys up in Canada, what they were picking up too.
Yeah.
Coming across the border, America into megawatts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some actually did it on boats.
What's that?
Some actually did it on boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Escaped the authorities.
Yeah.
As far as a preference, again, I think it was who was on.
Who was on?
I think that was always the thing, right? When you saw, okay, you got tonight on Don Kirshner's rock concert, Tavares, Tavares, Dr. John, and then it's
Starland Vocal Band.
Yeah, the Starland Vocal Band, the Rolling Stones. And who's coming on last? Who's coming on last. But actually, their first episode, it was the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Recorded live in London.
Yep.
So how big was that?
That's pretty.
That's a coup to get that.
Yeah. And the Doobie Brothers was also on that show. Yeah, that was in 73. So you got the Stones in 73. Nobody, you know what it was? It was like, I guess you can't say it because it came before MTV, but we can relate it to the MTV syndrome. Like nobody knew what the hell it was.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what this, okay, it's a concert show. Like, all right, yeah, sure, we'll be on. right? You paying us? Yeah, okay. Record it and put it on TV. But it became like a phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know, and record sales must have went through the roof
Free
after a
publicity.
band was on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you know, those shows were on to sell records. See, we don't have that nowadays. It's a whole different ballgame. But back then, you showed live music. Like, hey, I saw Don Kirshner's rock concert in '79. I saw Jefferson Starship, and I saw Craig Chiquiko for the first time wailing on guitar. Next morning, I went and I bought a Jefferson Starship album just to hear him. You know, I was like, "Whoa, this guy's good."
Yeah,
that's how I heard AC/DC back. Well, that was the old Gray Whistle Test, but you know, you went right out and bought their albums. It did work.
I saw Jefferson Starship sing "Miracles," right? Yeah. Only you believe with Marty Barrett, right?
Marty Ballin.
Marty Barrett and Marty Ballin. I mean, yeah. I remember that. Because that song is fucking such a.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about vocalists, right? But this dude, again, just a standout voice, strong, right? He could hit different pitches. He could carry a note like a motherfucker,
like a 3-octave range.
Yeah, and he could carry the note. You know.
Yep. I like that period. The Red Dragon. Was that
the Red Dragon. You had Earth. You had.
I like that mid '70s period.
Yeah.
The lyrics to Miracles. Read the lyrics. There's pretty hot stuff in there.
Yeah. And then what was the other? They had another big hit other than Miracle.
With Your Love.
Yeah.
What you doing to me?
What you doing to me with your love? With your love. Grace Look had really nothing to do with any. Right? It was more like his voice was the group at that point.
At that point, the big hits were. She had Play on Love. That was like a big hit of hers.
Well, she did sing, you know, the greatest song ever.
No.
She did. Yes, she did.
No, she did not. She didn't. She did not.
We built this city, buddy.
Oh, God.
I'm thinking you're going to say White Rabbit or something.
No. We built this city.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mark
if there
Coney
was ever a take
Mambo.
back, I think that's her take back. If she ever had a take back, that would have to be it.
Unless they made her $3 billion. And
they thought they were so fucking cool. And maybe it does make them money, but they thought they were so cool. We were going to, we have all these, and we're going to get the kids all pumped up. And people are like, what the fuck? Like once the novelty wore off and people really listened to it.
Yeah.
And then the video did it no justice. Didn't do it any favors.
Horrible.
But
in that period, they did a song called Sarah. Remember that song? That was a good song. But that was what's his name? Mickey Thomas singing.
That was Mickey Thomas, but that was also probably written by Holly Knight or Desmond Child
or Diane Warren.
The first time I saw Mickey Thomas sing was on either Midnight Special or Don Kirshner. It was with Elvin Bishop's band singing "Fooled Around and Fell in Love."
Oh yeah.
That was cool. But there's just like Elvin Bishop wasn't. Who knew him? He wasn't a big star. Yeah, the Stones didn't have like a guy like Elvin Bishop with a good song and good material, but they would show some pretty obscure stuff or up and coming.
But you know what? It's as I always say, even with this podcast, I have a live stream. I do local politics for the town I grew up with. I do that on Tuesday nights, and I always tell my partner, it's content. Everything is content. Just have content.
Yep.
You can get something out of it.
Yeah.
Just have an idea and just kind of, even if you have to spitball it, just have content.
Start the conversation.
That's what that stuff was. Like it was filler. But then Elvin Bishop did have fans, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did actually. He was known as a guitar player, and one of his movies was in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So a lot of that stuff, actually, a lot of those type of bands are popping up in those movies like that.
Yeah.
Some of those soundtracks. I heard a couple of songs. I'm like, when did I hear that song?
Guardians is just the best of the '70s CD. Each soundtrack,
Yeah, but nothing too obvious though. Really, a couple things.
No, the '70s Gold was like the first one, like good '70s Gold stuff.
Solid gold.
So yeah. So Marie Martin said Jefferson Starship performed in Dania on Thursday. So let me ask you this: is Jefferson Starship now just Like Foreigner. Is Foreigner even
Yeah.
Foreigner, or are they a cover band at this point?
It's Mick Jones. Wait,
No,
Mick Jones
he's not
isn't
even
in it.
there anymore.
He's not
Like,
in it.
he shows up every once in a while. Like they keep him on the roster, but he doesn't really play all the shows.
They're just performing fleas and Mick Jones.
And you have the lead singer's been there since what, like 80 something. I don't know.
And I think it is. I think once you lose the original member, you're a tribute band. But saying that, it also depends if you record new music. So I'm seeing Yes in a couple months. There's no original members yet left, but they still put out new albums.
So I saw the last tour with the original members, some of the original members.
You saw with Alan White on drums. He was the last original because Steve Howe was not on the first two albums.
Who's the old guitar player? I know what you mean. Yeah.
Steve Howe's he's not an original member.
No.
Well, you know what? That's like saying that Ron Wood isn't but he's a fucking Rolling Stone.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Well, didn't Mick and
it took him a minute to become one.
Well, they did open up the books for him finally.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They opened up the books for Ron Wood. Yeah.
But this Jefferson Starship, everyone's like Grace Slick isn't performing. The other guys died. I know they're not putting out new albums.
Marty Bellin,
because they played in Dania Beach, like in Dania Beach. I think it was a highlight club or something. Highlight place they were playing.
Same Doobie Brothers, same thing. It's like who's left? I mean, And then I was disappointed when Gary Rossington died. They said they're going to go on without him.
Yeah, see, Marie Mon says same as the Doobie Brothers. Well,
Is there a Van Zant in Lanyard?
Nope, there's no Van Zant. Gary Rossington was the last guy.
Johnny retired, I think.
Yeah. I have to stop the show because this fucking guy every week. Todd Sockman, I'm here. Entertain me. Hey, what did I miss? I don't know. Wow. How about listening to the show from the beginning and get off my show? How's that?
Ooh,
I showed him.
That's a good way to get listeners.
That's right. Well, he's listened from the beginning.
I know.
Like that gnat you try to swat away, and it goes in your ear, and you smack yourself in the ear, and you box your own ear.
Is he a flea in your circus too? There,
he is a flea in my circus.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, these bands, like, I don't know, like the Spinners, right? Or the OJs.
Yeah.
Like the oldest member came in like 84. You know what I mean? Like, and he was new in 84. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and there was still like two originals. And
what's weird now is we're getting to a point where heavy metal bands in the 80s are becoming that. Look at Quiet Riot. They're just a tribute band, you know, and it's strange, you know. But
I never liked them, but you know,
they were terrible.
I always thought they were terrible. They were overrated. You know, just because that Michael Dubois, whatever his name was,
Kevin
Dubrow, yeah,
and he died
with his hair plants. He killed himself, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think he killed himself. Yeah.
Frankie Benali, the drummer, died.
Yeah,
my brother was working in some restaurant in Greenwood Lake, New York, Mark, and Quiet Riot played, and he goes, it was like wintertime. They showed up in some shit van. This is after the big album. Years after, it's some shit van looking miserable. He goes, it was just so depressing. You're like,
trying to make a buck.
Trying to make a buck, Scott.
Off a half-assed, metal band that has maybe 2 hits.
Their 2 hits were covers.
By Slade.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was the first technical heavy metal song to go #1.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. They stole it from Slade, right? They covered
Slade got paid.
Slade got paid is right.
Yep.
Yes, they did. Or whoever wrote it for Slade.
Noddy Holder.
Yeah, the lead singer, right?
Yeah. That's a great name, Noddy.
Yeah, I actually like their version better, and I don't even like the song.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have introduced Noddy to Lemmy. Hey, Noddy, here's Lemmy. Meet Noddy.
Lemmy, Noddy.
Hello.
Then they have a nosh together. They sit down and have a nosh.
And they have a schwitz.
Yeah, and a schwitz afterwards. I'm a sugar nut.
Come on, Noddy, would you want to go get a schwitz?
Yeah, at this point in their life, they would be doing that, yeah.
So, wait, so there are no Starship members left, though? Grace Slick isn't there?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe it's, what's his name? Maybe
she's got to be 78 years old.
She retired.
Now.
She won't play.
Mickey Thomas. Mickey Thomas isn't there?
Maybe. He might, I'm looking.
Let's see. Mark is now he's the professor. Mark is the he's the stat guy. He's the stat guy. No Grace Slick, right? Yep, we know that.
Wow. In the modern Starship, they took the drummer from What's that? Bishop? What's his name? Stephen Bishop, Elvin Bishop.
Elvin Bishop. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Are
he
they
got
related?
fired. I don't think so. I doubt it.
Okay.
Elvin Bishop's a Texan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey Thomas is in the band now.
He is.
And John Roth on lead guitar. So Craig Chakiko, who really, to me, made the Starship what they were.
Yeah.
He played like really good hard rock style guitar. He's not even with them.
Right.
Yeah, there's a bunch of no names now with
Dude, and you know who goes to those shows, man. Like when I went to see Yes, I told you this story. I'm with my stepson, and
don't pick on it because I'll be one of those people. Yes,
I'm just saying. I said to my stepson in his room, his roommate, it was his friend in college, and then his roommate, he came to stay with us because he was looking for a job, and my son's got a job teaching, and he got his friend a job teaching at the same school. So he's like, so stay at our house. And we let him stay for free for like 4 or 5 months, whatever. We didn't. And the father and the mother were like very appreciative, and went out to dinner, and they live up in the Villages, right? The Villages are infamous in Florida. And the father says, "Hey, I got 4 tickets to see Yes." All right, well, sure, I'll go. I don't remember seeing them. I think I saw them because I have my A to Z. And I'm like, I think I saw Yes, but maybe I was a little fucked up that night. I don't know. Or it just wasn't memorable. But anyways, I got to fill the A to Z. Now I know I saw them, right?
You didn't see Z. You didn't seen Zebra yet. Come on.
Who did I see? ZZ
Top.
ZZ Top, yeah.
The real Z is Zebra. Now, come on. Stop.
So I'm standing there in the lobby with my stepson, and I'm looking around, right? And I said, hey, something gives me the idea that right now I think I'm probably the toughest guy in this building.
Yeah, it was a prog concert. It was progressive music. You were the toughest guy. We cry when we
started laughing.
We cry if we trip. I mean, that's prog heads,
really wasn't.
And we argue with each other.
There was a lot of white hair there.
I was going to say, it might be a lot of people's last concert.
Yeah, a lot of white hair, a lot of old concert T-shirts. Hey, listen, respect. I give them a lot of respect. I love that these people still go to these shows, and they were fucking rabid.
Yeah,
they were like that's what really impressed me.
Yeah,
they were like out of their seats, like getting into it in the middle of the song.
One of my employers is 70, I think, and she goes, I'm listening to Yes again. I'm thinking, well, there you go.
You gotta love that.
Yeah,
progressive
yeah.
Music fans if you're a progressive artist, it's a blessing and a curse. They'll come see you until they're 90 years old, but you have to do everything the way they want you to do it, and God forbid you change. They get pretty pissed off.
Right. So let me see. Marie says
David Freeberg. He was on Red Octopus.
He's been around forever. Yeah. Okay, so there's an original, right?
Okay.
Quicksilver Messenger Service.
And then Kathy Richardson evidently doing the Gray Slick part.
Wow.
I would think.
Donnie Baldwin is the drummer. I thought he got fired from because I understand he beat the shit out of Mickey Thomas.
Fucking drummers.
Yes, I read that. I remember reading that. He broke his nose or something.
Fucked him up pretty bad. Yeah, he messed him up. He got
messed
thrown
up
out of the
his cheekbone. He could have damaged his sound, his vocals.
Yeah. Right. Could have crushed his sinuses.
All right, so this is what I do with Wikipedia now. I'm shutting it off because it totally gave me bad information. Goodbye, Wikipedia.
Well, it does say references, and it does say might need updating. And
yeah.
Do you ever go into a wiki page just to mess it up?
No.
Put fake information
I've been tempted.
Yeah.
Why don't you go in and say that Paul Stanley was the guitarist for Led Zeppelin? Just do that, something.
Yeah. I saw a picture today, and we were talking about import albums. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago, Mark?
Yeah.
And I saw a picture today, and it was like Paul McCartney like in Wings, and they're just kind of standing in a line. I think it was them. The album says Queen. Queen on it. That's like you see the Vanilla Ice t-shirt and it says Morrissey.
I have a Deep Purple bootleg and Led Zeppelin's on the cover.
Really?
Yeah, they're just it's someone that doesn't know the band. It's the long-haired guys. Put them on the cover.
Do you really? You have that?
Yeah.
You got to take a picture of that. I'd love to see that. If you ever find it.
These are all bootlegs, so they were hashed together by somebody, and whatever. It could be some old guy that didn't know,
So later on, after these concert shows came and went, and they faded. Well, Old Gray Whistle Test went from 71 to 88.
That was a great show.
Now, we didn't see it until it was, weren't they rebroadcasting like old shows at one point? Like
I was watching them in the 80s on UHF. We had channel 68 down here in New York. And then public broadcasting stations would show it. And what I liked, it was a more authentic live thing. It was really raw.
It was raw.
So when I saw AC/DC, I had never seen them before. It was the Bon Scott years, you know, and I'm like, whoa, you know, and that's how I got to know who's the Irish guitarist, the blues guitarist.
Rory Gallagher.
I saw him on Old Gray Whistle Test, and I was just blown away by him, you know. So
there's some good clips of America on there.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, you know, I see them on YouTube now, but
they played a lot of like.
Where was that show out of?
It was out of the BBC. It was out of London.
It was English. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They got the name. Do you know where they got the name? Old Gray Whistle Test?
It was a pretty funky logo, like a astrological thing, you know?
Yeah. They actually, the phrase came from like the old Tin Pan Alley days, right? So when they pressed an album, when a record company pressed an album, they would go to these, like, they would go to the doormen and they would go to like these, like guys wearing these suits, like, you know, the big gray coats, and they would play it for them. And they said if they whistled along and remembered it, then that passed the Old Gray Whistle Test.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. If they liked it, you know, they were like, okay, that's what we got. This is what we got going.
Yeah.
So that's where the name came from. But that thing ran a long time, and and it was darker. It was like more like quaint.
It was like a
concert
stage
shows.
theater, little small theater stage.
Yeah.
Was there a host?
Yeah, it was some nondescript guy.
British, yeah.
And I don't think it was in the same place every time, because I remember the AC/DC one was a different looking venue than when I saw Rory Gallagher.
So maybe they just recorded them at these places.
Then. Yeah.
Okay. Or were they? I mean, I guess recording them and then playing them because they recorded them live. Yeah.
Along the same vein, and again here it was late night. Was BBC had something called Rock Goes to the Universities? Do you remember that one? That was great because they would. You know, universities used to be great places to see concerts, and they would just different university, and they broke a lot of bands. I believe some of our favorite bands from like the late 70s, early 80s, they played early on. You know, ABC was on one of them, and so good stuff.
Well, hold on, Joanne Kosborski. I love Joanne. Welcome to the show, Joanne. Thanks for watching. I love Joanne. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met. She is an absolute sweetheart. So thank you, Joanne. Thank you for watching. I have to get that in. There's certain people that don't face. I love Joanne. She's such a nice person. Always, and it's rare to find on Facebook. It's rare to find a nice person on Facebook. I mean, you guys are pretty nice guys. I don't think you're that nice.
Well, I'm the one that starts shit. Yeah, I know.
I've calmed down. Where's my guitar?
And then AJ Gillinger, my buddy out in Texas, owns AJ on the Main, big barbecue joint. And what is it, AJ? Is it sweet? No, is it Sweetwater? No. He'll let me know.
Texas barbecue.
Yeah. He's good. He knows what he's doing. I can tell you that. I've put some stuff up, some food stuff, and he's like, that's trash. I'm like, sorry, AJ. Sorry. I've known that guy since he was 18 years old. Yeah. 1988. So then, Todd, you never say that about me. You know what, dude? Todd Sockman. I got to put it up on the screen, right? See this? What does he want me to say about him? You know, this is nothing but narcissism on his part.
Loyal listener from the beginning. Yeah. Let it go. Loyal listener.
You don't know this guy.
He wants to be entertained.
Oh, my boy AJ is getting a new hip in the morning. Jesus, you're younger than me. What's up with that, buddy? Running a barbecue joint must be hard work. He hurt his hip. No, it is hard work. I know that. I am not dogging that. That's it. He puts his work in. Mm-hmm. He got that long ZZ Top beard too. It's cool as shit. Yeah. You got that long beard. Why am I having conversations? I love to. Look at that. I look at these. A lot of kicking ass. Why am I having a conversation? I got a podcast to do. People.
You got to change legs.
Look at Mark's breaking out the wine now. See, it took him an hour.
I tried to keep it off camera, you know.
It only took him 49 minutes. So then later on, after those shows kind of came and went, we went into MTV Unplugged, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember California Jams? Remember the Cal Jam concerts?
I don't. It was a show?
I remember seeing a couple. They were like on Channel 7. It was ABC out of New York. It was a late night live concert. It had like almost near celebrity hosts like Jeff Conaway from Taxi before Taxi was on one. You know, he was introducing some bands, but it was called California Jam. But there were some pretty well-known bands played on there.
Yeah.
I think Santana did it. There's some YouTube videos of it.
Okay.
But,
all right.
Those were sporadic things they would do every once in a while, like Cal Jam 1, Cal Jam 2.
Okay. Maybe I do remember those. I'm not. What years are they in the 80s?
Like late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lou, I remember maybe they were spurred on by the midnight special shows, but I remember like our local channel 11 was WPIX. Out of the blue, like I think it must have been like 79 or 80. No, it was early 80s because Heart were not as popular, but I remember like they started showing concerts in prime time. So they showed a double bill with Santana and Heart. And I think maybe it was that show or whatever, but I remember they showed the show and then they had to cut it short because a massive thunderstorm came in. But I think the networks were trying to catch on to that. Like, you know, you don't get that anymore. You're never going to see Channel 5 in New York show a concert now at 8 o'clock. But that was cool stuff. And for a young guy like me, like I'm discovering stuff. It was key to my musical development.
Oh, yeah. Well, anytime you actually see the band, you hear on the radio playing their instruments, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a drummer, so seeing those shows on the weekends, I'm like, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that was
the
excited.
Yeah.
You weren't seeing.
I learned. You watched how a drummer did something. I'm like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I posted a clip of Lou playing the drums. Lou got some skills.
You were good that night, man. You were adapting to the different styles of songs really good. Like I said, they were more funky than I've ever seen them with you on drums.
Yeah, and Lou got a small following because I posted that and I'm like, I don't know who that person is. Who's that person? Hey, who's that person? They say Lou's name. He kind of lit up the board for a minute there. Yeah.
I don't really like doing drum solos.
I support you, Lou. See that? I got you in my I put you out to the world to see. What does Mark Smith do for you? He doesn't do that stuff for you. I do that. What does Perry do for you? He doesn't. I do that for you, Lou. I do that.
Scott.
That's why I'm here for you week after week.
That's right, buddy.
Scott, did you put a billboard on Route 17 in New Jersey? I did that for Lou.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Lou at the guitar bar.
You didn't tell
with the web link.
Oh,
and QR code.
Okay.
I even put it up myself.
that was a fun night, though.
So MTV Unplugged comes along, right? And it's kind of a whole. It was fresh. No, this generation they hadn't seen anything like that. We hadn't seen anything like it. It was actually a pretty original concept.
Who was
it
the
accidental?
first host?
Or was it?
Initially there was a host, Julian.
Oh, yeah.
And they kicked him out because he was very traditional about it. He wanted just to have acoustic, and then they kind of jazzed it up. But
yeah, who was that?
And he would play along with the artists that were on too. Julian Cope? No.
Oh, maybe look it up. Mark's a stack guy. But the first guest ever. Well, okay, so they say when Bon Jovi did "Dead or Alive" at the MTV Music Awards. They did it acoustic. It was just John Bon Jovi and Richie Zambora. And they say that was the first unplugged.
No, really? Led Zeppelin were doing acoustic sets in 75.
I think it's what gave them the idea. Because it was really, I am not by any means a fucking Bon Jovi fan. I never have been. But I do like that song.
Yeah.
And they did do it well acoustically. It was something totally unexpected when they did that. And so I think that set the stage for Unplugged. And the first people to play Unplugged was Squeeze.
Yeah.
I think I talked about that recently. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
That's right. Jules Shear was the host.
Jules Shear, that's who it was.
Shear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then
he's written a lot of hits for people.
And again, the greatest unplugged ever, Nirvana. It wasn't unplugged. I fucking tell people that. They don't. The man that sold the world, electric guitar.
They had Pat Smear on the backup, who's now with the Foo Fighters.
Pat Smear,
Now, did he electrify an acoustic guitar?
No, he had an electric guitar.
No, he actually played an electric guitar. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. You know, Kurt Cobain, he was electrifying his acoustic. He was distorting it. But Pat Smear was in the back with electric.
It had electric guitar in it.
They started to water it down because there were a lot of bands that they wanted to get on the show that may not have. Some bands couldn't play acoustic, you know.
My favorite, I think the best unplugged.
I know, Alice in Chains.
Yeah, I've said it 100 times. What a fucking great show that is.
My two favorites were Stevie Ray Vaughan and Pearl Jam.
Yeah, Pearl Jam was a really good one, dude.
Yeah.
They were acoustic. Like they were strictly acoustic.
I'd like to see that because I'm not a big fan of them. Their XM channel, I never listened to it. Very, very few songs.
I don't listen to their XM channel either. I just hear them on the radio.
Think of them as a jazz band.
Yeah,
sure.
But they're unplugged.
No,
was fucking. It was. They were lighting it up. Yeah. They came out. They were stoked and they killed it. That's right. That was the first unplugged I remember seeing. Going, holy fuck, this is good.
Yeah,
like that was memorable.
Yep.
Stone Temple Pilots did a really good unplugged.
Yeah. Then there were shows where they would get the hair metal bands on that were so bad.
They were just doing
bar chords on the acoustics, and I'm like,
they were better when they were electric.
High school. Yeah,
yeah. And then they really went out to left field with, and I give LL Cool J a lot of credit. I always liked that.
That was a good episode. That was
he had the orchestra with them.
Yeah.
You know, he did the first hip hop unplugged. And it was rather interesting, but they jumped the shark. They jumped the shark at that point. They were just trying to make everybody unplugged.
Okay.
You know,
did it translate musically or?
It did. It was, but hip hop does not translate live.
Right. Or like that.
Yeah. Hip hop does not translate.
Hip hop is an electronic art form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's very produced. And you get these rappers. There are some like Jay-Z. There's a few that carry, but like you get Wu-Tang Clan up on stage, and you see that there to see Wu-Tang, and they get up there, but it's never as clean as it sounds on the album.
But what I liked, they would have a real drummer, and these drummers that could do those beats were damn good drummers, because not every drummer can do that. You know?
No. Yeah. You need a machine.
Yeah. I'd still rather see Eric B. and Rakim on the DJ, and you know what I mean? Public Enemy was good live, you know. But Chuck D had a great voice.
Yeah.
You know, he had that big, strong voice, and he could pull it off. And they put on a whole show, too, you know.
You know what Chuck D's secret was? Very healthy lifestyle. Someone asked him in an interview once, you used to get screwed up, and I was like, no, I never did. I never drank. I'm a vegetarian. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything.
A lot of those guys. KRS-One was a straight shooter.
They're poets.
Yeah. They were straight shooters, you know. Rakim, he was kind of a straight shooter. They probably drank a little, but they weren't like, you know, causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
You know, they just wanted to put their art out there.
No, that's what the Wrecking 2 does. The Wrecking 2 causes a ruckus.
Big ruckus.
They call a ruckus.
That's a rebel lamp.
Then after Unplugged,
I like this lamp.
After Unplugged, Marie says Joan Baez always went unplugged. Yeah, there are some people that just never went electric, right?
Yeah.
They stayed in that, and it worked for them
until she ruined that Robbie Robertson song.
Yeah. We probably should have started the show off. Let's take a break for a second. Let's do a mid-show break because we're at the hour point. Okay. You know this goes always at least 2 hours.
I gotta go to work, Scott.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll speed everything up. We'll get you out on time, buddy.
I'm joking.
Yep. So Lou sent me the text.
Yeah, rest in peace, Robbie Robertson of the band.
That's your boy. You know what? I got a text from my friend Phil Kelly, friend of the show.
Right.
First thing he sent me after he sent that, and you sent it to me, he says, Lou must be devastated. See, Lou, they pay attention to you.
I
buddy.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Lou, you were probably more devastated when Levon passed.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Robbie guy.
I love them both. I'm not ashamed to say I cried when Levon died. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that to come up. I'm like, holy shit, that guy had an impact.
Yeah.
But Robbie's songwriting. I mean, I was listening to the soundtrack to The Last Waltz before we did this tonight, and what a great guitar player. You know, all the shit surrounding whether he screwed over the band for other guys for songwriting royalties. I don't think he did. I just don't think he did. They didn't write shit after once the band was over. So if there were writers,
it was like a John Fogerty deal, I think. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there might have been contributions, but you know, Roy Bittan's made contributions to Bruce Springsteen's music. You know, he doesn't necessarily get a writer's credit, but I mean, I don't know. I do think it was heaped on a little too much on him. Like, you know, I never heard where he bought the royalties out from under them. You know, they might have sold it, but you know, I heard some concert tapes of the last tour they did, and I got to tell you, a lot of it sounds really bad. I mean, there was no reason for him to continue playing like that. The guys were all I hate to say it because they're idols of mine. They were all messed up. You know,
success ruined them.
Success, exactly, Scott. That's what Rick Danko even goes. He goes, "Ever make $1 million fast?" I did.
My dad worked in Woodstock in a bank, and they said if Rick Danko comes in and cash a check, don't give him 10s or 20s. Just give him, because he was going out and buying. And this is the Rick Danko. He lived on the streets for a while in Woodstock. He would just get screwed up. It's sad, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he died young. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Richard Manuel's a whole different story. You know that, but. Anyway, I just think, you know, as a musician, you know, so I'm reading his book testimony now. Perry sent it to me last year. I finally got around to reading it, some of that 100 pages in. And I was surprised, you know, that's what we're turning on the news and you're finding out, you know, David Bowie died, Robbie Robertson died.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't know they were ill. Neil Peart, that's another one. You know, like,
God.
Shit.
Neil Peart and Bowie were the two that shocked me.
Oh, I didn't know. I mean,
because I bought the Bowie CD, I'm loving it, and then the next day he dies. That was like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, well, he released it on his birthday.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the first musician that I had that kind of, it affected me to the point where I was really fucking upset. Like I was really upset over this, is when James Honeyman Scott died. Guitarist from the Pretenders.
Yeah, he was great.
I was such a fan. Like I was fucking all in with them. I was like, this band is just fuck. I just was like, I can't put it any more than I was all in with them.
I don't think Chrissy ever got over it either. Chrissy Hind was devastated.
No. Oh, sure. I mean, it's amazing she carried on with the band and when Pete Farndon died too. I mean, Martin Chambers was the only one that stayed, the drummer, and even after a while, she cut him loose and brought in another drummer for a while. You know, but I saw the second incarnation of the Pretenders. She's still great. She was still great.
Yeah,
that's where I forget the other guitar player and bass player were.
Yeah, they were good. They were good, but they weren't the original Pretenders.
Yeah.
I heard "Message of Love" today.
Oh yeah,
great drum sound. Great.
The drums alone are great, but I mean the guitar. I mean, it's just he had a great sound. We never got to really appreciate him because
did one album. That was it.
Did wait two? He did Pretenders too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's my favorite Pretenders album. The second one.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't get past the first one. That's just too good to me.
That's a tough one.
That's a perfect album to me. Yeah. So
Bad Boys Get Spanked. What a great song.
Was Robbie Robertson in It's Gonna Get Loud?
No,
he wasn't in that. Oh.
Yeah.
What did I see him in?
I just read today that the forthcoming Martin Scorsese movie, Robbie did the music, so he worked right up into the end.
Yeah, fairly recently. And then he did the documentary about the band Once We're Brothers.
That's a great documentary.
So that's only I think 3 years old. That came out in 2020. Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. And you know the way he was talking about, a lot of people said it's just he can't do anything right with people, and that'll just the way it is. You know, but some people. But the way he talked about the band and Levon in particular, he loved these guys. You know, they were tight. They were brothers, and then like Scott said, you know, success got in the way in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Music business. Yeah.
If you ever want to see a cool movie, Robbie Robertson made one movie. Marie, I was just about to say that. Yeah. He was in a movie called Carney.
Yep.
Gary Busey.
Yeah.
And Jodie Foster playing another one of those roles again, like Taxi Driver. She's young runaway. Gary Busey's priceless in that. I think he was hysterical.
Yeah.
when he's in the Duncan booth, that's the clown.
I know.
But it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah. So we're halfway through the year, right?
Yeah.
We're halfway through the year. We've already lost Jeff Beck, David Crosby, Burt Bacharach, Gary Rosington, Harry Belafonte, Tim Bachman Turnover Drive.
Yeah.
Bachman, Gordon Lightfoot, Andy Rourke from the Smiths, Christine McVie, Tina Turner, Tony Bennett, Randy Meisner, Sinead O'Connor, and now Robbie Robinson. This is not. We're at that point where we're seeing this more and more.
Sure, they're getting old.
I mean, Robbie was 80, and Sinead was 57.
Yeah,
that's just really sad.
Did Prince and Tom Petty die in the same year? Oh,
I think so.
Close to each other. Didn't they a year apart, maybe, or something? They were within
maybe not. It started with Petty. It started with Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Prince was 2016.
Bowie was, and so was Glenn Frey, 2016.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that wasn't a good year.
Bowie, Glenn Frey. Oh God.
Tom Petty was 2017.
17. Okay, so I thought they were kind of like close in that sense.
Yeah, it's close enough. I mean,
Petty was 2017.
Yeah,
October 2nd. I thought it was earlier.
Fucking fentanyl killed him and Prince.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
Yep.
Like, we're starting to see this now. This is halfway through the year.
Really?
Like, this is, okay, so we at least, you know what? We saw them. We grew up with them, and it's hard to see your heroes kind of fade off. And then it's kind of like a week later, people just forget. And it's like, that kind of sucks, but life goes on in any death.
Yeah, that's right.
Things just keep moving.
Desire to keep moving on too. It's like, none of us are really young here.
No, but it's
I'm a little younger.
You're over 50, pal.
Don't say that, Lou.
Buddy. You're in the club.
I got one creeping up in 10 days.
So,
okay, I remember.
After MTV Unplugged came, I actually liked this show. VH1 Storytellers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Storytellers was a really good show, and they really gave you. It was a great concept.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was unplugged to a certain extent with explanation.
Yeah.
They could tell you how where this song came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought probably I think my favorite Storytellers was what's his name? I'm getting the Schmitties now.
Name a song.
What would you say? Dave Matthews.
There you go. Yeah. I heard his show was good. I didn't see it. I heard it was fun, but yeah.
And I think Oasis was unplugged, not Storytellers. Oasis.
Right.
Well, half of Oasis was unplugged.
They're getting back together.
Nothing. So VH1 Storytellers. Lou, did you ever watch it?
I've seen them. I've seen some, yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of them?
I have no distinct memory. I don't.
Like, it was just another, at this point, it was just another acoustic show.
I was probably in a passing mode.
Yeah.
At a house somewhere.
I really liked it when I saw it. I didn't see every show, but whenever I watched it, even if I didn't like the artist, I did appreciate that they were talking. It was about the same time that A&E was doing Live by Request, which I didn't like. That was too glossy for me,
What was it?
Remember A&E did Live by Request?
Oh, yeah.
I never believed
I never bought into it.
They're going to play the song that's requested. They don't know what's coming. It was all planned.
Yeah, it was over. It was trying to be like
it was a call out response thing format where
people would call in.
It's like reality, TV, which was produced TV after the first year. Like, okay, the first 2 years of that MTV show, The Real World. Right. After those were really not produced, like no one really, they did a bit because they had to create storyline and they had to create, people to get to watch it. But then after the second season, it just, all these reality shows were
because it was cheap to produce. Cheap, you have to get
but it wasn't really reality. That was the thing. After a while, and then all of a sudden I heard like that they had reality show like classes that you could take on how to be on a reality show. And Yeah, everything turns to shit. When it's after somebody gets there, everyone wants to get a part of it. Yeah.
You have to be very dramatic. You have to get angry and love people at the same time.
I'd just be a total douchebag.
Narcissism is a total must.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total NPD.
Did you ever watch Later with Jules Holland?
Yes.
On
I
BBC America?
absolutely love that show.
Fucking great
I love the
show.
concept that different stages.
He just points over the stage.
And
then,
we've got there.
Yeah.
We've got, and I got turned on to a lot of bands I didn't know about. That show.
Like you had, this guy, John Newman, and who I'll mention later on. And then like right across from him is Oasis.
Yeah.
And they all get to watch each other play.
Yeah. That's what's great about it.
Joan Armatrading did a great fucking Later with Jules Holland. I mean, that lady, she is not in the Rock Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The accolades that she has is fucking amazing. 50 years in music. And
I know.
Like they just like,
You brought something up. I noticed that if you watch closely, if a band was playing, you'd see all the other band. They must have been told to stay on the stage.
Yeah.
They
stay there.
Yeah. And then occasionally he would just like show a table, and one episode Jimmy Page was just sitting there. And he went over and talked to him, and now Jimmy Page is watching some new band, and it's all about the music. That's all it's about,
Jules Holland with what group?
Squeeze.
There you go.
Was that show filmed in England too and done?
Yeah, that's a BBC show.
Because that's the only way Joan Armatrading would be on a show like that. It wouldn't happen in America.
No, and I don't fucking get it. I mean, she just won Grammys a few years back for like best jazz album, female. Blah. I mean, the lady just racks up like accolades, and they just ignore her. Like she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And maybe she's like, fuck America. Like maybe she just has that, like, I'm not buying into your shit. I'll stay in England and make all my money over here, and get what I want from them. But
sounds
the
like
fact
Paul
that
Weller.
but the fact that she's out there and still making, and they don't, again, they don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, hey, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you want to be diverse. And you want to get the women in there, like you haven't. How about getting a black female who's fucking spectacular?
Joan Armatrading isn't in?
No.
Probably not.
No, she's not in.
She pissed off Jimmy Iovine too, then.
Yeah, she's not in. I mean,
Tom Hanks.
She had a little run in the beginning of the 80s. She had a few good albums. All her albums are good. But then, like, it just passes on.
Well, they have to.
Like Phoebe Snow. Like, she was fucking great. They just didn't know what to do with her.
She was
back in the 70s.
Yeah. But today, I mean, look how many of these young singer-songwriters have been influenced by her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. You were going to say something, Mark, I think.
Yeah. I forget. Oh, I was going to say about Joan Armatrading. Just tell the fans to vote, because they listen to the fans when the fans vote. They always do.
Yeah.
I think it gives them one vote. If like 1 million fans vote, they get one extra vote or something. It's crazy.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think she had maybe one U.S. top 40 hit. Me, Myself, I.
She had all the way from America. She had
as far as like a radio, like a single, I think that's
she had a few. She had a few singles.
Yeah.
She had a few.
But she used to be in like Circus magazine regularly.
Yeah.
She was good. Like they knew she was great. And for
a lot of
Love and
people in those
Affection is a
magazines.
great fucking song. You ever? That was a radio song for a while.
Yeah, Circus, Rolling Stone, and Cream. They were kind of underground magazines. So yeah.
Circus was more of a pop, like kind of what was popular, mostly hard rock. But they featured Joan Armatrading a lot.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I heard of her. They would review her albums, and I said, I got to listen to her.
So check this. AJ Gillen just says, they filmed a part of The Real Housewives of Dallas at my place. He's in Grapevine. I believe he's in Grapevine, Texas. Longest 1 hour and 45 minutes for 10 minutes of reality TV. There you go. Right from the horse's mouth, right there. Live at AJ's on the Main.
Hey, you want to hear?
I didn't know. It didn't show Joan, Tracy Chapman, yes, Patti Smith. That is, I drank a lot. Okay.
Let me tell you something. Years ago, Ashton Kutcher hosted Saturday Night Live, and what they would have the pre-tape skits, like they would do some little skit making fun of something. So they used our hospital because at the time we had a floor that wasn't being used. So they were 30 miles outside of the city. They brought the trucks. They got there at 6 a.m. to do a 30-second skit called Death by Chocolate. They were there from 6 in the morning till 10 at night. Wow. It takes forever to record these things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All technical stuff.
Yeah.
Not as much as those. All right. So I think we covered that. Let's get on to our lists.
Can I say one thing?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. It's like an honorary mention because it wasn't really a music show, but I looked at the original David Letterman on NBC. I would stay up till 12:30 to watch it because he would have like one night
acts.
Jeff Beck was Jeff Beck, Eddie Van Halen was on the whole show jamming with the band.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like it was kind of a music show. He had great guests.
Well, look who his musical guy was.
Yeah.
Paul Schaefer.
Very respected in the industry. Everyone knew, you know what I mean?
So I'm in high school. I'm staying up till 1:30, bleary-eyed coming in the next morning. And it was just a damn good show on NBC. That original late night was great.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drummer, Anton Fig, he played on a lot of Kiss songs.
Yes, he did. Yeah, uncredited.
I remember seeing David Letterman doing okay stand-up on Don Kirshner's rock concert or Midnight Special when they'd have comedians. So before
and they did have comedians on Midnight Special also. Yeah, they did. So this is kind of it's hard to kind of word it. So I had put this as 5 songs that define 80s music, but it's to you. There's no right or wrong answer.
Right.
Like there's 5 songs, pick 5 songs that like, to me, that's the fucking 80s. Like no one's going to say that's a stupid song because this is how you define 80s music. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So Mark, I'm going to start off with you. You give us, we're going to do 5 at a time. So you're going to do all your 5 instead of us.
Okay.
Because I always get fucking confused when I try to do that round robin thing.
Really.
I always get fucked up.
I did 7 songs.
I always get fucked on that.
No matter how much I try, I'm like, all right, who's next? I could write it down in front of me, and I'm still like, I fucked that up. So
some of these songs aren't necessarily like favorites. They're just things that could epitomize
how when you hear that song, you're like, fucking, that brings me back to 87.
Yeah. Sure.
That brings me back to 84. Like it's an 80s fucking song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of songs that sound 80s. But how do you define the 80s?
Yeah,
right. Through music. What songs define the 80s for you personally? Right. Yeah. So, what do we got, Mark? Give me your 5.
Okay, so I'm going to go with first of all, "Pride in the Name of Love." That even though I knew U2 before that, that was a song like whoa, it hit. Okay. You know, and I remember I was a freshman in high school. Yeah, and it just brings me back to. Even though I was a metalhead, I was always like, there was another side of me. U2, big, you know. Yeah. So that's the U2 song for me that defines the 80s for them. Second choice, this one's for Perry. "Still of the Night" from Whitesnake. Because when that fucking video
that
came
brings
out,
me back to the Philippines, buddy. Right there.
Well, I was dying
88, right? 88?
80, something like that. Yeah. I was just out of high school.
Yeah, 87, 88.
And the metal scene had started, but this came on like Led Zeppelin, like nobody else. And I was dying for that Led Zeppelin sound. It was amazing. And that's the metal side, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Boys of Summer. It was Don Henley's decade. I mean, he after the success of Eagles, he had a
83
career.
83, I think.
No, a little later. I was in high school.
85, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
I think.
I thought it was before that. I have a vivid memory of doing something that I probably shouldn't have been doing in that year.
Actually, you know
I'll tell you off the air.
That might have.
I think it's 84, 85.
Yeah, I was in high school. And I didn't like it when it came out, but I was listening to it, so I liked it. You know,
shit got stuck on the hood.
Tony Katane.
She got stuck. Damn, AJ.
Like TJ Hooker.
What else?
Okay, and then here's the epic popness of the 80s for me was Tonight, Tonight, Tonight by Genesis. That was, I love Genesis, and I didn't tell anyone in
commercial.
And The Night belongs to Michelob,
yeah, but that was, to me, that was my image of pop 80s, you know. Genesis were huge. And then it reminds me of the beginning of the 80s when I was in 8th grade, 7th grade, was Tom Sawyer from Rush. That was my introduction to Rush.
1980.
Yeah.
No, that was 82.
think
80 was Permanent Waves.
No, Moving Pictures, I think.
All right, we got to throw down here.
Judgment call.
We got
All
a break in the action. The score:
I say
Lou
1980.
Colicchio won, Mark Smith won.
When
Let's see.
What is it called? Moving Pictures, Lou?
Moving Pictures.
All you have to do is type in Tom Sawyer song, and
Tom
we
Sawyer.
can tell you what year.
1970. What the fuck?
Not Wikipedia.
Wait.
Mark's got a fucked up wiki, doesn't he?
Oh, I put Moving Waves, like Permanent Waves. Oh God.
Permanent Pictures.
That's what you get for fucking typing and drinking.
Shut up.
During a live stream.
Never type and drink.
Never type and drink during a live stream.
Don't type angry.
No men don't type and drink. 1981.
You're right in between. You said 82.
Yeah.
You said 80.
Permanent
right
Waves was 1980. Yeah, and I remember that coming out.
Okay.
And that's an 80s. It's not your typical 80s thing, but really, it was Rush changing.
That was Spirit of the Radio. Wait,
that was 80. That was Permanent Waves.
That was
Spirit of the
Permanent
Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for me. I mean, I had trouble with this list because there's so much stuff. Like, there's other songs that bring me back to the 80s, but I think those are the big ones. You know.
So read them off one more time. Just to do them in a row so we can kind of. Because you're going to make a playlist, by the way.
Okay. You got it. Pride in the Name of Love.
Yeah.
Still of the Night.
All right. Yeah.
Boys of Summer. Tonight. And Tom Sawyer.
All right. Can't argue with that. There's no arguing with these songs. That's the beauty of this.
No, we got to be like on Facebook where everyone argues.
When Facebook
sucks.
turns into face-off book.
Yeah.
I always say.
People put a list. That sucks.
Right. It's they're insane.
No, Rush's best song is. No, that's what you think. Come on, you know.
All right, Lou, what's your first song?
Mark, the song that you had that I think would most epitomize the 80s was Pride in the Name of Love.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got Every Breath You Take by the Police.
Okay.
I was right.
yeah.
I was thinking.
Oh, it's all over. It's all over the 80s.
Yep.
Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
That is 80s right there, buddy. That breaks out to like Live Aid 80s. Like that's
yes. And
that's where it brings me at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then just that whole, the big intro, the MTV video. Yeah. I mean, that's smack dab in the middle of the 80s too. But I was in a
So where does it bring you? Okay, so I didn't do this with Mark, but like, so your first song was
Every Breath You Take.
And where does that bring you? Like when you say
was it 83? It was a summer. I was my band, my brothers, we were a happening band in our town. I was dating this great girl. We liked each other for a couple years. We finally started dating. It was when it was about time you two were going out, that kind of thing.
I'm not looking for the fucking life story, Lou. I'm just looking for a play.
It was an idyllic time. It's summer.
I'm only kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Parkridge, New Jersey, summertime.
I was only kidding, buddy.
I
was only kidding. It's funny, when we first started doing this shit, I didn't know that I could like do that. Like I didn't fuck with you guys. I tried to be nice to you guys because anyway you go, he's such a fucking asshole. I'm not coming back.
Nah.
That's way gone. That's long gone.
Oh, you kidding me? What got me into your show, and I've always said this. Terry said, listen to the show. You and Jack had a throwdown argument. I loved it. I just loved it. I said, this is great.
So, all right, what's your next song, Luke?
Okay, so there was Money for Nothing. That's the first thing I heard on a CD.
Money for Nothing. That's right. Yeah.
Born in the USA.
Yeah.
That was a big.
That was a big
one, album.
Yeah.
Where does that bring you?
I'm not telling you.
I like that answer. Okay, moving on.
I'm trying to think that's
I'm not telling you.
I don't know. It's just that's another thing. I remember where I was working a lot of these songs.
All right.
And, there were like a lot of radios were playing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I remember I really wasn't crazy about that album as such when it first came out. And that song has never really grabbed me so much. I like that album because I do call it Max Weinberg's comeback album. But
right.
But once I listened to it, I said, that's seven hit singles on one album. It's pretty amazing,
Yeah.
Bruce set out to make a big album and he made one.
Yeah.
But that's when his concerts became really big. And
I saw him on that tour. Yeah.
Was that so? That's 3. It's not a favorite of mine, but Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Cyndi Lauper.
Listen, it's an 80s. It's an epic 80s song. Yeah,
totally 80s. And next one for me would be, I'd say, actually, because it's a personal thing for me, the one I love, REM, their first top 10 single. Watching them just go from nowhere to like cover of the
That's right.
Rolling
You
Stones.
were an original fan of REM.
Oh yeah, way back. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. I'm like, wow. I said that little band that I really loved and like, just hit the big time and did it well.
Doesn't it kind of suck though? Because then everybody's a fan, and you're like, I was
I'm not an elitist like that. I think that's
okay.
I look at people who have discovered good music. If they did something totally shitty and then it sold like hot cakes, yeah, fuck them,
Yeah.
But they still kept their integrity all throughout the line. So if someone caught on to that, I said, here's to good taste.
All right. So
all right,
give us a recap.
You elitist prick. All right.
Yeah. Recap it again, Lou.
Okay. Every Breath You Take. By the Police, Born in the USA by Bruce, Money for Nothing, Dire Straits, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Cyndi Lauper, and The One I Love, REM.
All right.
And Scott didn't ask me what these songs meant, like where they brought me back.
I didn't even think about doing it. So
don't
we got time. We got plenty of fucking time. Is there what song that you named has the best memory attached to it?
Oh, that's easy for me. You got to understand, I went to private school from kindergarten through 8th, and then I got thrown into public high school in my hometown.
Gen Pop? He got sent to Gen Pop.
And
from segregation.
And Lou knows what school I went to. Yeah, I went to a Lutheran school. So I'm in fucking high school, and I don't know anybody, and it's huge. And so Pride in the Name of Love, like I was a freshman. I just, when I was scared, I just going back to my music, and I bought that album, and that whole album was important to me. Like I just devoured it, but that song, it was, and again, like kind of like with REM, that was with U2, that was the first song I think that MTV really played that video, and it was in the castle, if you remember.
Yeah, I do.
The documentary for the making of that album was great too. And but it's like it was a freshman year for a lot of kids is torture, and it was for me. So the music helped.
I think one of my top 3 favorite U2 songs is The Unforgettable Fire.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Fucking unbelievable song. And A Sort of Homecoming is a great fucking song, too.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That held some relevance to me when I was in the Philippines because you come home on mid-tour. Like you could go home for like 30 days. And, so, it's just is one of those songs that get you wound up. But The Unforgettable Fire is probably my top 3 favorite.
Yeah.
Fucking U2 song.
Another video that MTV played a lot of.
Yeah.
I listened to
Carnival, and they got the fucking wheels spinning. In fast motion, right? What's that, Lou?
I listened to Joshua Tree the other day. I texted you.
Yes.
And I agree that the last 3 songs are the best songs in the record.
Oh, I love them.
Side 1, I've heard once I listened to
Overplay.
I haven't the whole freaking thing. As great as it is, it's overplayed. So it's just, but the last 3 songs, because I did have the cassette probably.
What's the song? Mining.
Red Hill Mining Town.
That's a great tune.
Video they never showed in the United States, but they started showing it eventually. It's kind of a offbeat one of those. Doesn't really make sense videos like those 80s videos,
Yeah.
But Red Hill Mining Town, One Tree Hill, and what's the third one, Lou?
It's another hill thing. I forgot the name of the song.
Silent Hill.
One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill.
Yeah, either way. All right, my 5 songs that to me these define the 80s. These define the 80s for me. First one is Billie Jean. That's a fucking
good one. Yeah.
That puts you right back to like, what was that?
83.
83. Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out right after Off the Wall.
Yeah.
Then you heard that Billie Jean, like, what the fuck? Like, wow.
Whatever bar you went to, you heard that song.
Didn't matter. Yeah. It was like such a great song. Okay, I got to put April stuff up here.
She's rocking.
Let me interrupt my program for this announcement. April Bernard says, mine is I'm on Fire, Bruce. I like that.
Bruce.
Kind of, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Kind of creepy. Kind of fucking creepy. No one ever really paid attention to that line.
In the video,
hey,
he's
little
a mechanic.
Girl, is your daddy home?
And in the video, he's a mechanic, and he's dropping the keys off at the house.
Does he know that you're here all alone? Like,
I got a bad desire.
Yeah, little fucking creepy song.
Waking up at night,
just
sheets
saying.
soaking wet. Yeah.
Does your daddy do the things I can do?
See, April, your list is already flawed because she says Main Street by Bob Seger.
76.
That's 70s, yeah. Xanadu 70s, right?
Yeah.
With Rush, right? Fortress Around Your Heart, Sting. That was later on. That's a great song. Yeah. Dream Police, Cheap Trick, 70s.
79.
Yeah, in Harvest Moon, Neil Young. Yeah, April. This is 80s. This is 80s, babe. Songs that define the 80s.
I think she was thinking it was just songs that defined your life. Maybe she was thinking,
define what the 80s are to you. So my first song is Billie Jean, right? It's the song. Second song, The Killing Moon, Echo and the Bunnymen. To me, that is like alternative at its best. That's an epic opening. Down, down, down. You know, that kind of off-tune guitar, right? Was played in a number of movies. Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko, that was in that. I mean, that song has been played in a lot of movies. I believe it might have been played in the Kiefer Sutherland in The Lost Boys. I think it was in that movie too.
Ooh, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Echo and the Bunnymen, The Killing Moon.
Maggots, Michael.
And that was, like I said, that's like alternative music. New wave was just like, that song to me is still a classic fucking song. One of the greatest songs of the 80s, if you ask me. If you had a list of, 100 songs from the 80s, it's got to be in there. It's got to be in there. My third one takes me right to the Philippines, 1988, at the Holy City Zoo. It's a video bar. Well, they were all video bars at that point. The DJs were getting weaned out. Live bands were getting weaned out of these bars, and they were like, all we have to do is pop in a fucking VHS tape with 8 hours of videos on it that someone brought back from the States. They recorded like MT. Okay, we're on. And they have monster speakers and giant screens and girls dancing in front of the screens and total madness. But the song is Sweet Child of Mine. That riff, that opening riff, right?
Yep.
Another one with the opening. And three of them, they all have that opening riff that you just hear it and you're like, you know exactly what it is at that point.
When did Appetite for Destruction come out? 87?
87?
So I was graduating high school. I was when becoming an adult, and that album came out, and I was still hanging with my friends, driving around playing that. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. I'd have to say, With or Without You. Again, With or Without You. So April said, "Welcome to the Jungle," and Welcome to the Jungle, but Sweet Child of Mine is what broke them. That's what that was their launching pad.
Yep. The album was slowly building. It took a while.
Oh, yeah, but that song was the song that really like just skyrocketed them. He's doing the Davy Jones, the Monkees dance back and forth, That
little asshole.
In that riff and the just heavy, it's just a heavy song, but it's kind of a nice song. It's a nice song, but it's heavy, right?
Yeah.
So, Sweet Child of Mine, With or Without You, right? With or Without You.
Something. I don't know if I mentioned it on another show. Did you feel like Bono was channeling Bruce in that video in the beginning? You see his arm and he's got the sleeveless denim on. I always thought he was trying to, like the director was trying to make him look a little like Bruce.
I never got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never got that.
Not that he was doing it, but I felt like maybe the director was trying to get that image because Bruce was all about the sleeveless denim and,
and bandanas.
Yeah.
And this song, this brings me back to fucking just finished basic training, and I was in the Law Enforcement Academy in the Air Force. It got I think it was the Song of the Year in 1987. You know what it is? Song of the Year in 1987. I think it got Video of the Year also. It was a big song in 87. And another one with the great riff. As soon as you hear that first down, 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 down. Don't Dream It's Over. Crowded House.
Oh, great song.
Yeah. That song, probably of all those songs right there, that song brings me the most like vivid memory. I remember going over to this place on Lackland Air Force Base called the Skylark. And it was like a bar, but if you weren't old enough to drink, you couldn't drink. But I was. Yeah. So I went over there and I heard that song and I was like, oh, I fucking miss home. I miss, like the whole fucking thing. And it was just the beginning of a journey of a lifetime for me.
Yeah.
Little did I know 7 months later I'd be in a foreign land, like,
Yeah.
like a jungle. Literally a jungle. And I could have said welcome to the jungle. It's the same thing. But like so AJ Gillenda, I've known him since he was 18. He was K9, just like I was. He was a class behind me. And I was a little older than these guys. And so I kind of took them under my wing, and they flocked to me, because I'm like the cool guy. But I had already been around, so I knew how to just kind of just be cool. And so they get over to the Philippines. Like there was like 7 of them or something that came in all at the same time. They were the class behind me because there was a big push to send dog handlers to the Philippines. And they came in, and I met them, and I took them downtown. And this motherfucker, I'm not even going to tell the story, but I had to drag him out of a room because we had curfew, and it was literally like herding cats. They were everywhere. It was like that's how crazy this place would make you. It was like so insane and like freestyle. I had to get like 7 of these dudes and get them on base before they get in trouble, before they're even in process. So I've known AJ since he was a kid. Yeah, we go back. Good memories, man. He said, here we go. We had a great time. Yes, we did. Great times. He said, okay, we'll stop this right here. Easy now. I'm 32 years.
She's a saint.
Aren't they all if they married us, buddy? So anyway, that's my list. Billie Jean, The Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen, Sweet Child of Mine, With or Without You, Don't Dream It's Over. I know you have some extras. Give me 3 more, Mark. I know we all put more than 5. And what's funny is none of us, that's a pretty hard list to overlap.
Lou took one that I had was
really
the Police, Every Breath You Take.
Good for
but then
Lou.
I was thinking I was thinking of all those Sting songs. That was a big part for me of the 80s. And I agree with who was it that said Fortress Around Your Heart? Someone commented. I think
April,
that for me is a big, that was huge, for me.
Yeah.
Toto.
All right.
The Toto 4 album, Rosanna.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have liked that album because I'm young. I like Queen. I like prog. I was starting to get into metal, Judas Priest, and then my friend comes over with Toto 4. We were in, I guess, 7th grade. And I'm like, it blew my mind. There was something about Toto. It was, and I was living home. I was probably 12 years old. I don't know, 13. Just listening to Rosanna, loving it. I probably didn't realize like the drums were probably hooking me in. The drum.
All I want to do when I get up in the morning is eat you, banana.
Oh, here we go.
Never thought that a fruit could taste so good to me, banana.
And then the third one, I'll go with Pink Floyd for Momentary Lapse of Reason. What was the big single off that album?
Learning to
Fly.
Learning to Fly, great song.
That came out
not like Tom Petty, Learning to Fly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it came out the year after I graduated high school, so I didn't know what to do in life, so I would get in the car and drive and get lost on purpose, and that was like I had the cassette, and that was my song. I guess,
all right.
Represented freedom, learning to fly. Of course, in that song, the guy falls to earth and he dies. So,
well, no, he turns into a hawk.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of
jumps
Icarus.
off with the wings.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Todd Sockman, People are People. Beach Time in SoCal. Yeah, he's a California boy. See, that's part of his problem. That's part of my problem.
That's a great list.
Love Shack, NCO Club in the Philippines with my friend Scott. I don't know that guy. Pop song, REM, great video. Yeah. I Melt With You, Martin English. That is from the Valley Girl movie. That 80s. Is an epic 80s song right
Total
there.
80s.
No,
Total
number
80s.
5 is the epic 80s song. Oh,
don't you forget about me.
That.
You know what?
Oh,
I
yeah.
had that on fucking my original list. I said that to my wife, and I didn't write it down. Great call. Yeah, I had that on my original list. Don't you forget about me, because it's like an anthem.
Yeah.
It's like an 80s anthem.
And it was connected so much
to
with
that
the
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
That's why.
movie.
Great call, Todd. Great call. I'm glad you
good
pulled that up. I knew I was missing one. It was With or Without You. I kind of threw that in at the end, but Don't You Forget About Me was on my original list. Yeah.
Can't leave U2 off the list. They were such
No,
a big
you're
part of
right.
the 80s.
You're right. You can't go wrong with either one.
I had Pride in the Name of Love on one of mine too.
Let's see. Love 5 songs, part of the show. All right, Mark, you are youngin'. Love that you have wine. Lou, definitely MFN. And
I wanna know what that means.
JWF. Scott, all of Michael Jackson. Me, more than I can say. Leo Sayer, give me that's some 80s. That's not Leo Sayer 70s.
Yeah.
You got a good way of talking.
Ooh, that was good, Scott.
I got it. I can do it.
When I need
Yeah. I can dance. I really
I
hit
can
the
dance.
floor.
You know I can dance.
George Benson, Give Me the Night. That's a good 80s song.
Yeah.
Anything Chuck Mangione. Okay.
7 days.
And then it cuts off there. Let me see if I can pull
I'd like to know what the acronyms mean. What's an MFN?
I don't know. That's a good one. Let me see.
JWF.
Paul Young, Every Time You Go Away. Great. Yeah, I just heard.
Great song.
I saw an interview with him recently. I saw it on YouTube where he talked about that song and how Daryl Hall's, he loved his version of it. He also loves the royalties too. Let me see.
Paul Young opened for Genesis when I saw them on that big tour they did. That was great.
He had a good run.
Yeah.
Nice fucking guy too. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
what I
nice
heard.
guy. And Dude Looks Like a Lady, Aerosmith was hers.
I remember that video all over MTV.
Yeah. So let me see. Where was I? Okay. Lou, give me 2 more songs.
I Got You, Split Ends.
I Got You. Yeah. Split Ends went on to become Crowded House, right?
Crowded House, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had the time of my life.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, Dirty Dancing, right?
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. I never saw the movie, but I heard the song, and
I never saw the movie either. Yeah.
That was
Can
a
I-
big
no matter where
song
you are,
over in
you-
the Philippines.
Okay, you
You
guys
hear
want to
that
make
song
fun of me?
anywhere.
You guys want to make fun of me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the movie.
Fuck
It's something
yeah.
charming. I like Patrick Swayze. Everyone made fun of him, but he made some good movies. Roadhouse.
Yeah, no, I
Go-
think you get
ditto,
the penalty box for that. Yeah,
Ditto.
he gets in the penalty box.
No,
you,
Mark can't hear this, but they filmed a lot of Dirty Dancing here in Nashville.
you can't come on this show and say you like Dirty Dancing. You're going in the fucking penalty box. You can't do that.
Was it Dirty Dancing or
It's supposed to be
Patrick Swayze
cooler
wrote?
than that. I don't know. You got to be cooler.
Mark's
than
so
that, right?
rom-com.
All right, let me see. 3, 2, 1. All right, he's back.
Hey, at least I'm honest. It was like, you know what it was? It was a movie I could watch with my parents who are very strict. We all loved it. We watched it together. I'm not
So
saying
now
I
you
loved
make
it,
me
but
feel bad for putting you in the fucking penalty box. Why didn't you say that to begin with?
I miss my parents. They both
Ah,
passed.
here we
Scott.
go. Fuck you. No, penalty box. I'm not getting guilted. You're not guilting me, motherfucker. No.
He did it well, though. He did it well.
He got me. That motherfucker got me. He got me. Look at what he's got. I caught him. Look, he's got the fucking. He's wiping his eyes. Penalty box again. Fucking triple minor.
He's got a record.
He just might get a game misconduct, and he got the shit stuck behind his glasses.
My glasses are fogging up.
He's got the
Fucker.
tissue stuck behind his glasses. Oh, you suck.
I'd throw this at the camera, but I would break my cameras.
Look at you making the people cry. What was that? Way to fucking bring the show down, Debbie Downer.
Lou, where was it filmed?
Around here.
I thought it was really filmed in the
Who wants to
Catskills.
move off the subject?
I think part was filmed at Lake Lure.
Okay, I
and
thought it was
no,
filmed
no,
up in New York. I don't know.
the Biltmore State. I've had
All right, give me one more, Lou.
one more. Walking on Sunshine, Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, she passed away. Didn't Katrina pass away?
Wow, really?
I think she did. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Very positive.
so
song.
they're just called And the Waves now?
They get some other girl named Katrina, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matina
Hey.
joined.
Yeah. I have as my
What are
backups.
the acronyms? I have to figure out what
Marie, what are the acronyms need for Lou?
I got the ones earlier ones.
You may not want to see this.
Fun. Money for nothing.
Love, WOS, right? I guess that's a song, maybe.
Walking on Sunshine.
Walking on Sunshine. Yeah. You got the other ones earlier? You figured them out, Lou?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What do they mean?
Girls just want to have fun and money for nothing.
Ah, there you go. Okay. All right. See, she's doing that quick it's like shorthand for texting.
I thought there were psychological terms like IJNF or something, whatever that stuff means.
So I have hey, listen, this is an iconic 80s song, and it brings me to the Philippines. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Yeah.
Rick Rowland, baby. Rick Rowland.
Ever see him now?
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. He just did a whole show. I think he did a couple nights of just Smith songs, Morrissey songs.
Wow.
Yeah. And Morrissey was sure, go ahead. Yeah, do it. Never Gonna Give You Up. Tainted Love.
Yeah.
That's a
great song.
And I can either say
Nintendo game back then, didn't it?
Jump or How Soon Is Now. Those are the other two that I have. How Soon Is Now. When I heard How Soon Is Now.
Pointer Sisters or Van Halen?
Van Halen. Yeah, that's Van Halen.
Who is How Soon Is Now? I don't.
The Smiths.
Oh.
Okay. You've never heard that?
Oh, the big song. I just never knew the title.
That fucking Johnny Marr at his greatest.
Yeah.
Like, how'd you come up with that fucking sound? Like, go YouTube and like how he came up with that sound. That is as unique as it gets.
A lot of tremolo.
When I first heard that, right, I was fucking floored.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fucking amazing. And then Morrissey just coming in and, I Am the Sun in the Air, right? And start singing, and it's just a great fucking song. Heavy, right? Thick. And then the next time I got that feeling for a song where I just went, like, it just fucking like blew me away.
Yeah.
Was Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like those two songs, like I never had like whoa, wow, that shit sounds fucking good.
When Nirvana hit, it was a breath of fresh air. It was something different.
Nirvana killed Loverboy.
They killed the hair bands.
They killed them all. They killed Loverboy. Nirvana killed a lot of them.
And then Kurt went and killed him. That was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, dark. Yeah. And Loverboy went on a binge and became Blubberboy. But anyways. All right, so let's move on. Give me your Lou, give me your video of the week.
Oh shit.
Oh, he didn't do his homework.
I never saw anything for a video of the week.
All right. Well, I said it last week. Mark, do you have a video?
We did that. We did that last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we're gonna do it every week now.
Oh shit, that's right.
I guess I either missed the message or you missed the message. Either way, doesn't matter. I got a video. All right.
I got one.
All right.
Again, it goes back to my youth because it really freaked me out because he was seen as wholesome pop, and when he did the video, it was gory and shit. It was Thriller, Michael Jackson. That blew my mind when it came out.
Oh yeah, that was an epic. I mean, that was like a short story.
When they showed that kind of the makeup and everything, I was like, holy, that's to me one of the greatest videos ever. So that's my video of the week.
I do have one when you get a chance.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Mark mentioned earlier Bruce Springsteen's "I'm on Fire." So bad.
I think April brought it up. Yeah.
He wrote the song. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's the key. Remember the video?
Yeah.
He's so stiff. He comes out from under the car on the dolly. Yeah.
He didn't
wants our friend to bring, and he's just so bad. I mean, someone who's so natural on stage.
Yeah.
And I think he's even critiqued for the video, saying, it was just totally. He was like a mannequin.
Poor Bruce.
So his cameos on in High Fidelity are funny though, with John Cusack.
So for future reference, every week now I want to have a music video of the week.
Every week you want to do
Every
this?
week we'll do it.
Every single week. Okay.
Yeah.
Music video of the week, right?
Okay.
It gives people, I think one of us froze. Here we go again.
No.
I don't know. April just said froze.
No, she likes the song Frozen.
Okay. My video of the week, and I highly suggest you watch it. And I actually posted it earlier on Facebook. It's a great song. It's got great dancing in it. It's a great story, but the fucking ending, you just got to see it. It's a fucking left turn. Like, it is an absolute, like, wow, okay. So it's John Newman. He's like he's a British dude, a British kid, like blue-eyed soul. He has a voice kind of like a little bit like Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Okay.
Right? Kind of raspy, but it's definitely blue-eyed soul. And the name of the song is Love Me Again. Watch that video tonight. It's a fucking really good song. It's a really good, like I said, the dancing is fucking cool. And the story, like you got, it's almost like a fucking Friends. Yeah. Like this, like you just say, this motherfucker, those are friends.
Yeah.
Right? And it has that kind of feel to it. You're like, damn. And just watch to the end.
Okay.
Watch to the end.
Yeah.
So
I already got my video picked out for next week.
Oh, good. All right.
Mine too.
Lou didn't. Lou forgot.
I completely forgot.
I should have I don't know if I put it in the, I usually send you a text what we're going to do. But it's all right.
Hey, Lou, remember when I had the album review on Music Relish and you said, I forgot to listen to it.
I did.
It's fucked me over so many
I screwed the whole thing up.
So watch that video. John Newman, Love Me Again. Okay. Top 10 singles this week in 1988. I was still sitting there. Number 10, Just Got Paid by Johnny Kemp, who was with
Spenda Ballet.
No, Johnny Kemp was Kemp was with New Kids on the not New Kids on the New Edition.
Oh.
I believe he came from New Edition. Number 9, Hold On to the Night, Richard Marx. Number 8, not his greatest song, Monkey by George Michael. Number 7 this week in 1988, I Don't Want to Live Without Your Love, Chicago. Number 6 this week in 1988, I Don't Want to Go On With You Like That, Elton John. Number 5 this week in 1988, 1, 2, 3 by Gloria Stefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Number 4, excuse me, Sign Your Name, Terrence Trent D'Arby, speaking of. Number 3 this week in 1988, Make Me Lose Control, Eric Carmen.
Wow.
Number 2 this week in 1988, Hands to Heaven by Breathe. Now, who was in that group?
No idea.
I thought it was somebody like from, it was kind of other groups, like older groups. They got together.
Okay, but wasn't Eric Carmen's song, was that from Dirty Dancing? Because I really love that movie.
Make Me Lose Control. I don't know. I didn't see them. Oh, fuck you. I don't care if Mark walked away to go to the bathroom. He's going to come back with a fucking banana probably.
Where the toilet paper come out of the back of his pants.
Yeah. And number 1 this week in 1988, Roll With It, Steve Winwood. Great video.
Roll with it, baby.
Video. That's a good video. No, top 10 albums this week in 1988. Number 10 was Let It Loose, Gloria Stefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Number 9, Open Up and Say Ah. Poison.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Number 8 this week in the album chart, top 10 albums charts in 1988. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Number 7 this week on the albums charts in 1988, Faith, George Michael. Number 6 this week in the top 10 album charts in 1988, OU812, Van Halen. Number 5 this week in 1988 album charts, Dirty Dancing Soundtrack. Right. Number 4 this week in the top 10 album charts in 1988, Tracy Chapman. You had a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can drive away? I'm going to get a big knife and slit my wrist because this song killing me. It's like, how depressing can you
Her whole delivery was very depressing on that. Very dour.
Look at this, Mark Tyler. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Scott's mentioned Dirty Dancing about 15 times.
Good thing I missed the 80s music. God, the music sucked. Okay, buddy. All right.
I went down looking for a pickle, and there were no more pickles. Damn it. I really want a pickle. Goes good with wine.
Number 3 this week on the top 10 album charts in 1988, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. Number 2 this week in the top 10 album charts in 1988, Roll With It, Steve Winwood. And number 1 this week in 1988 in the album charts, Hysteria, Def Leppard.
I like that album.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
I like that song, Hysteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very melodic.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. That was a big video in the Philippines. It's time for This Day of Music. Yeah. We might get out of here at around the 2-hour mark. Yeah. I could rush through this. Let's go. I'll start from the most recent and go backwards. On this day in 2007, Amy Winehouse canceled a series of European shows after being admitted to the hospital suffering from severe exhaustion. Well, considering she was like 97 pounds and her hair weighed about fucking 30 of that.
Yeah, really.
And sneaking around with Vince.
I thought
Gill.
she was a beautiful girl, though. I just thought she was a beautiful.
Yeah,
I thought she was. Yeah. I like petite. Always liked the petite.
What a
girls.
loss, though.
It was. Yeah. What could have been?
Yeah.
The 23-year-old singer was taken to the University College and London Hospital and later discharged. In the past few weeks, she had pulled out of the Tea in the Park Festival, also citing exhaustion. Liverpool Summer Pops. On this day in 2007, Baltimore Mayor Sheila Dixon proclaimed today as the city's official Frank Zappa Day.
Yay.
Citing Zappa's musical accomplishments, garbage.
Shut up.
As well as his defense of the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. That I give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
On this day in 2007, Jennifer Lopez won $445,000 in a case against her first husband, who planned to publish a book claiming she had several affairs. Lopez claimed Ojani Noah had violated a previous legal settlement, in other words, a prenup, preventing him from revealing private details about their relationship. The star claimed that Mr. Noah offered not to publish the book in return for $5 million. So that is extortion.
Yeah. You know what I would say about his book? It's a sound sample we play on the Music Relish. Oh my God. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
You want to read about that? Come on. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he ended up paying for it. So let me see. It was a sad day on this day in 1995. Jerry Garcia, guitarist for Grateful Dead, died from a heart attack at Serenity Knolls Rehabilitation Clinic in San Francisco at age 53.
In his sleep.
Damn.
Yeah.
He looked like he was 70.
He was well known for his distinctive guitar playing. Was ranked 13th in Rolling Stone's 100 greatest guitarists of all time. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Thank you, Scott. You actually gave a little tribute to Jerry Garcia. Thank you.
I respect the dude. I don't respect his game. I respect the dude, though. I have no reason not to like Jerry Garcia. I watch interviews with him. He was an interesting cat.
Yeah.
You know? Look at him and Bob Witt, nice fucking guys. Like, how could you not like them?
Yeah.
Sure.
They weren't really like political ramblers and, blah, blah, blah.
And Bob Weir wore those nice polo shirts.
Yeah. Right?
And the porno shorts, those tight.
Oh, those shits are back, dude.
Yeah, they are.
Fucking kids today, I'm starting to notice. I'm like, didn't I wear those in the 80s? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened to the long baggy shorts?
Yeah.
Or if they were cut off, your pockets are sticking down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now they're all wearing these fucking shorts. I'm like, well, I got a picture of me wearing a pair of those. I guess I'm fucking cool again.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I should break them out. Like my 1988 shorts.
That with the luchador mask.
Hey, speaking of shorts, AJ Gillinger will tell you that I was probably the originator of cargo shorts.
Really?
I'll tell you why.
How's this?
I broke my ankle in the Philippines, right? I got in a fight and I kicked the guy in the head, broke my ankle on his head. Right?
Jeez. I learn a little more about you every week.
There's a violent past. There is a violent past. I broke my ankle kicking this guy in the head at a fight in the Airman's Club, right? And so I had a Cassie. He was the first. Let me see. They say he just started to post it. And so you didn't have those 80 shorts didn't fucking work over a cast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
I took my BDUs, and every dorm in the Philippines had a tailor on the first floor. You get uniforms tailored and taken in. And AJ, I'm still wearing them today. A lot of people still wearing them today. And I brought them downstairs and I said, cut them right here, like right at the knee, right above the knee, and then just hem them, right? And the guy was like, what? Like a Filipino dude. I said, yeah, just cut them. And I fucking made the shorts out of BDUs. And the rest is history. That was 1988.
Now think if you had patented it.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Someone saw him and like, hey, I'm doing that.
Someone saw you and came back to United States and
that's how they call it cargo shorts, because we called them cargo pockets on the side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1988 I was wearing them. And they were the BDU ones too.
I got a pair on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got me to thank for that.
Thank you,
I was
Scott.
a fashionista. Anyways. Anyway, I always have Jack in my head now saying, did you just say anyways? Oh, here we go. See, AJ, that's my boy right there. See, he got my back to this day, 35 years later, whatever it is. Still got my back. On this day in 1994, during an Oasis gig at the Riverside in Newcastle, up in Tyne, England, guitarist Noel Gallagher was hit in the face by a man who jumped on the stage. Noel refused to carry on playing, and after leaving the stage, a mob of over 300 people attacked their bus as they were leaving.
That's an English audience for you.
Do you think they ever went back to that venue? Even when they, no. You guys, speaking of rabid fans, on this day in 1986, 250 Gary Newman fans, I love this, picketed BBC Radio 1 in London, demanding more airtime for their favorite pop star. He had a following, still does.
Yeah.
On this day in 1986, Queen ended their Magic European tour at Nebworth Park, Stevenage, England, with over 120,000 fans witnessing what would be Queen's last ever live performance.
Yeah.
On this, their final tour, Queen played to legions of established fans, plus many new ones gained as a result of their show-stealing performance at Live Aid. Gave them a little bit of boost, right?
AJ saying goodbye, by the way.
All right, buddy, let me see. All right, let's get him up there one more time. My wife told me I had to go to bed so I could be ready for the big day. Y'all again. Hey, buddy, God bless. You know I love you, my friend. I love you. Good luck with your new hip. You'll be up there fucking throwing those ribs on the grill in a week. I know you will. And a lot of whatever else you barbecue in there. So, all right, my friend. Good luck, buddy. Let us know on Facebook how you doing. Let's see. On this day in 1980, ABBA scored their 8th UK #1 single with "The Winner Takes It All." The winner takes it all. Taken from the Super Trooper album. See, it's not the movie, right?
Yeah,
it's not the movie. It's TROUPER. So everyone knows Super Trooper. That they had a soundtrack. Yeah, ABBA was in the Super Trooper soundtrack. What?
They went European on it.
Yeah. By this time, both couples were divorced. On this day in 1980, AC/DC scored their first UK #1 album with
Back in Black.
There you go. Yeah. It was the first AC/DC album recorded without former lead singer Bon Scott, who died on February 19th, 1980 at the age of 33. It was dedicated to him. The album has sold an estimated 49 million copies worldwide to date.
I wish I could like it like I liked it when I was young, but I'm just so tired of it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, that's a lot of testosterone moving fucking when you're a teenager. It's really a little heavy now. It's like it's good, but
it's just overplayed too, all those songs. You know?
Yeah. Let's see, making it the second highest album of all time and the best-selling hard rock or heavy metal album, as well as the best-selling album ever released by a band.
You know who produced it, right?
Mutt Lange.
Mutt Lange of Shania Twain and Def Leppard fame.
Yeah. On this day in 1980, 10 original Gerald Scarfe drawings from Pink Floyd's album The Wall were stolen from the foyer of Earl's Court, London, England, where they were being exhibited.
Oh.
Wow. That's
never
some
got him
underground
back,
shit
I
right
guess,
there.
huh?
Yeah, that's an art heist.
That's some underground shit.
Yeah.
That's like some millionaire got that shit in his fucking basement.
Yeah,
or his house in Spain.
It might be a guy in Boca Raton.
Hey, wait a minute. You don't know what's behind that wall.
There's a secret wall there.
Hey, you know it now.
Al Capone's in there.
They caught me. They for the listeners and the viewers, they caught me going back to the behind the Green Monster. There's a whole thing back there. Yeah, you have no idea what's back there.
The back end of the Green Monster.
There you go. Behind because the Green Monster in Fenway has you can walk behind it. Yeah. On this day in 1975, the Bee Gees started a 2-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with "Jive Talking." Yeah, the group's second #1. On this day in 1969, during a North American tour, Led Zeppelin appeared at the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California. Jethro Tull who opened for the band, were at #1 on the UK album chart with this second release, Stand Up. They have a #1 album in the UK, and they're opening up for Led Zeppelin. What does that tell you?
That tells you Peter Grant said, they're mad.
Yeah. You're fucking opening. No one, we tell you, yeah. You're lucky you're opening for us.
My band may not have an album out yet, but you're fucking opening for us.
Now, what kind of fucking concert is that? You get some fucking guy jumping around in tights and a flute, right? Fucking playing a mandolin and fucking whatever they were doing, bungle in the jungle and shit.
They were
strolling the gallery.
They were more of a blues band on those first couple albums. So,
yeah.
So.
And then,
you ever see them on that the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus?
Yes, with Tony Iommi on guitar.
Yeah. Very, very different.
Not a big fan of Jethro Tull. If I had to flip a coin between Jethro Tull and Santana, the fucking coin would land on its like north to south. So, on this day in 1968, after the Beatles had gone home for the evening at 2 a.m., Paul McCartney stayed behind and recorded Mother Nature's Son, taping 25 takes at Abbey Road Studio. The song was on the White Album.
Wow.
Yeah. On this day in 1968, Deep Purple, T-Rex, 10 years after, The Nice, Ginger Baker, Traffic, John Mayall, Spencer Davis, Taste, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Arthur Brown all appeared at the 3-day National Jazz and Blues Festival in Kempton Park Racecourse, Sundry on the Thames in England. Yeah.
What a lineup.
On this day in 1967, Scott McKenzie was at #1 on the UK singles charts with
San Francisco.
Yeah, let me see.
Wasn't
it written by
John
Mamas and the
Phillips?
Papas?
Yeah, John Phillips and Mamas.
John Phillips, Mamas and Papas, yeah. That was their only UK top 40 hit. On this day in 1967, the Small Faces entered the singles charts with Itchy Coo Park. The single peaked at #3 on the UK chart. The song was one of the first pop singles to use flanging, an effect that can be heard in the bridges section after each chorus. Most sources credit the use of the effect to Olympic Studios engineer George Chiantz, who showed it to Small Faces regular engineer Glyn Johns.
Glyn Johns, wow. Legendary Glyn Johns.
Yeah.
That's a drum break. They flanged it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Cool sound.
Yeah. And finally, on this day in 1964, the Rolling Stones appeared at the New Elizabeth Ballroom in Bellevue, Manchester. 2 policemen fainted, and another was taken to the hospital with broken ribs after trying to control over 3,000 screaming teenagers. Wow. They fucked them up.
That's all we got.
They fucked them up, buddy. Let's see. Born on this day in 1972, Arian Salazar from Third Eye Blind. Born on this day in 1963, Whitney Houston. Don't think I have to say anything about her. Born on this day in 1954, I give the drummers their due. Pete Thomas.
From the Attractions.
Yep, good. With Hulu?
Elvis Costello.
There you go, in the Attractions. On this day in 1940, born on this day in 1946, Marinus Gertensen from Golden Earring.
Wow.
Yes, he's the singer, yeah.
They're Dutch.
Dutch, yeah. Born on this day in 1944, Vic Prince, drummer with the Pretty Things. He later joined the Jeff Beck Group and the Denny Lane String Band.
The Pretty Thing. I think they opened up for the Beatles on one of their big their Shea Stadium American tour.
The Pretty Things, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
And deputized on drums during concerts for the Honeycombs and The Who. Whatever that means. Deputized. Maybe he's a second drummer or something.
Or had to fill in for a song or two.
Maybe, yeah. And born on this day in 1943, American singer Wanda Young. She was a member, and after 1965, the lead singer of the all-female Motown group, the Marvelettes. They gave Motown their first #1 pop single in late '61 with...
Wasn't, please, Mr. Postman.
Lou always says it wasn't, and that's the fucking answer. Why don't you just commit, Lou? Why don't you just
commit? Because I'm not sure. I don't. Listen, I like to be sure.
Just say the name. Like it's like
please, Mr. fucking Postman.
See how he kind of skirts the line. He walks in that gray area.
Yeah.
Oh, it couldn't be this.
You're the professor. Don't be the reluctant professor.
Just throw out the fucking name. You're always right.
No, I'm not. But it was Please, Mr. Postman, huh?
Yeah. Please, Mr. Postman. That's the fourth time tonight. He goes, well, it wasn't. I don't think it was. Maybe it was. I don't know if it was. It's like, just say the fucking name.
Even if I'm wrong.
The Beatles later recorded Please, Mr. Postman on their second studio album with the Beatles in 1975. The Carpenters remake of Please, Mr. Postman was a #1 hit around the world.
Wow.
She died on December 15th, 2021 at the age of 78. And gentlemen, that's it. We had 2 hours and 9 minutes. We covered a lot in 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah.
This was a lot in this show.
I only went in the green room twice.
Yeah.
Twice. It was like 3 times.
And why did you go to the green room, Mark?
I cried.
No, what did you mention?
And I mentioned Patrick Swayze and Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, back in the penalty box. See how I set him up like that, Lou? See how I set him up like that? It's too easy. It was it's fucking just throw it out. Throw the bait out there.
There was no bait on the hook. It just had a hook.
It was just a hook. Yeah, there wasn't even bait. All right, he's back.
Hey, Mark, did you have the time of your life?
Yes, Lewis.
Did you have the time of your life tonight?
Wasn't it funny that people in the
all the sky?
Wasn't it funny people in the 1960s were dancing to that song? It was amazing, right?
Right. Yeah, imagine that.
And Jerry Orbach was enjoying it too.
Yeah, Jerry Orbach. Oh my God.
The late great Jerry Orbach.
Great character actor. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, that's the show. And as usual, thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you for
your time. Thank you for your friendship. It's always great having you guys on. Always good shows. I don't know where Jack is. I don't know. I think he's traveling.
I miss Jack.
I do too. I don't know. He's gone dark on me, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe it pops up next week. I know he's traveling back and forth, whatever he's doing. Anyways, great show. Next week we will be back on Wednesday night with another show. And as I always say, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you didn't like it, well, thanks for watching this long, listening this long. Without you, the show, the engine that runs the machine, blah, 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 blah. You know the sayings. Yeah. But what I always say is, doing this show for you, to quote my favorite artist, Morrissey, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. And we will be back next week. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And Marie Martin throws in the last comment of the night. Great show. Love the 80s.
Bye,
All
bye
right.
Marie. Bye, Patty.
See ya.